Welcome to the Dubuque Fighting Saints broadcast network as the Saints take on the Fargo Force in the 2024 Clark Cup Final.
Seamus picks up, Saints scoop to center. Noah drops back, Sondriel working into the offensive zone, right wing, legs moving, stops on the far hash marks, falls down, tries to pass back to Jubenville. He muscles it down low, cuts to the front, the shot, he scores! Jaden Jubenville in overtime. The Saints lead the Eastern Conference Final 1-0.
Tonight, the Saints take the ice in search of their 6th Clark Cup championship.
Puck left in the corner behind the Muskegon net. The Dubuque Fighting Saints have taken the Eastern Conference title. They're headed to play for a Clark Cup.
Now it's time for Dubuque Fighting Saints hockey in the Clark Cup Final. Here's Josh Starr.
From I'm On Arena in Dubuque, Iowa tonight, the Dubuque Fighting Saints back on home ice look to extend the Clark Cup Final to a 5th and final game. Tonight, it is Game 4 of the 2024 Clark Cup Final. A night ago, it was a 3-1 win for the Dubuque Fighting Saints, their first win of the series, and they're looking to even it all up tonight at home against the Fargo Force. Welcome into the Dubuque Fighting Saints broadcast network. My name is Josh Starr. Last night, the Saints got their first win of this series, and Kirk McDonald said he thought it was the best game his team has played in the postseason so far. It looked like that for the Fighting Saints. Another game where the Saints outshot the Fargo Force. That's 2 straight games, 31-24 on the shot board. The Force were only outshot 7 times in the regular season. They were not outshot at all in the playoffs until the last 2 games. The Saints feel like they probably earned a split in Fargo. They didn't get it. But they came home, and their goal was just to take it one at a time. Come back, win Game 3, and then worry about Game 4. Well, they got the job done a night ago, and they're back on home ice tonight to try and force a Game 5. Last night, it was the special teams that really sparked the game for the Fighting Saints. 10.9 seconds left in the first period. Gavin Cornforth on a rebound on the power play. The first power play goal of the series for the Saints. And it was the first time that the Saints led into an intermission in this series. Well, in the second period, they added a goal, and that was from Seamus Powell. In the third, after Fargo scored a goal late in the second, the Saints got insurance from their captain, Jake Sondriel. That line with Jake Sondriel and Jay Reeder, they've been together all season long, and really their whole Saints career. But last night, Michael Barron moved up to that line with them. It was a force to be reckoned with last night. That line was outstanding. Kevin Radler, great again a night ago. 23 saves on 24 shots. And the Saints are looking to put together the same 60-minute performance as last night. That was their biggest goal after the first 2 games. They said, we need to put together a full effort. Well, they did it last night, and they're going to need to do it again to force this series back to Fargo, North Dakota. We'll start here on the pregame show with the special teams report, and it was a big one last night for the Saints on the power play. They got their first power play goal of this series. They're now 1 for 5 on the power play in the Clark Cup Final after going 31.5% in the regular season. Fargo, though, the best PK in the league in the regular season, and it's been a great battle on special teams. It's really played a role in all these games so far in this series. The Fighting that was on the Chick-fil-A power play for the Fighting Saints, their first of the series last night with Gavin Cornforth. The Fighting Saints penalty kill all regular season long, and in the postseason is brought to you by Crawford North. Each time the Fighting Saints were successful in the regular season, Crawford North made a donation to One Goal. One Goal's mission is to provide fun, affordable training and equipment to youth hockey players and continue the growth of hockey in Dubuque. The Saints kill again, 2 for 2 last night. They've only allowed 1 goal in this series on 5 chances. It's been 6 chances for the Saints PK in this series, 5 for 6, and it's been really even. There haven't been a lot of power play chances in these games, but teams trying to take advantage when they get their few chances. We'll talk to Kirk McDonald about that here in just a few minutes on the pregame show. Crawford North Dubuque's premier provider for HVAC services, welded fabrication, and plumbing. They offer commercial and residential services for all your service needs. The Fighting Saints and Great Clips on a mission this season to give back to vets in our community. For every save one of the Fighting Saints goaltenders made in the regular season, Great Clips made a donation to the Veterans Freedom Center on Kerper Boulevard. 1,615 saves in the regular season, and Kevin Radler has been outstanding in the playoffs. The Game 2 loss for the Saints, the only time in 10 playoff games that he allowed more than 3 goals. Last night, bounced back again, making 23 saves on 24 shots, and some big ones in big moments, as he has done all playoffs long. Great Clips. It's gonna be great. We'll take our first break here on the pregame show. When we come back, we'll talk to Kirk McDonald. What did he really like about the team's effort last night that he called it their best game of the playoffs? And what do they need to do to keep it going here tonight in Game 4? The Saints and the Force, Game 4. We're rolling on the pregame show right after this.
We're back on the Fighting Saints pregame show ahead of Game 4 of the Clark Cup Final. Saints at home tonight. We're joined by head coach Kirk McDonald. Kirk, last night after the game, you said you thought it was the best game you played in the playoffs so far. What do you think that was the reason for that?
Yeah, we played with a lot of pace. We turned pucks north quickly. We were really hard on pucks, and our attention to detail was outstanding. Which led to our success. That's when you're playing a team this good. Like, this is the stuff you got to be able to do, and there's an outstanding effort in a tough situation, and we got to come back with the same effort again tonight.
Won the special teams battle last night. How crucial are power play goals like you got at the end of the first period? Not only the timing, but also just not getting a ton of chances in these types of playoff games.
Yeah, I mean, any game you want to win the special teams, right? And Game 2, that was the difference. And then last night, that big goal with 10 seconds to go was huge by Corny, and their group made some really good plays there. And again, that's not only win the special teams battle, but it built some momentum for us at a big point in the game at the end of a period. So it's a great job, and then the Kill did their job, right? So outstanding. Like I said, again, we got to do it again tonight.
You got to play with the lead for a lot of the game last night, different from the first 2 games. How much does that change the way you can play?
Yeah, obviously you're not trying to push for scoring opportunities, and obviously Fargo's used to playing with the lead, so forces them out of their comfort zone a little bit. So obviously it always helps to play with a lead, but I think it was just the mindset throughout the game. Even when they made it 2-1, we didn't really change what we were doing. We just kind of stuck with it, which again then kind of allowed us to get that 4-on-4 goal in the third. We just kind of was even keel, not too high, not too low, and again, it led to a good result.
What impact do you think that the environment had here in the building last night?
Yeah, it was great. It was super loud all night. It was hard to talk to the guys on the bench a lot of the times because of the noise. So, yeah, it was awesome. Hopefully it's like that again tonight, and we're excited for a great atmosphere.
Thanks, Kirk. Saints in Game 4 at home tonight, the Clark Cup Final.
The Fighting Saints and Progressive Processing are proud to bring you the Hormel Completes Complete Game Challenge. When your Fighting Saints won the game, outshot their opponent, and won the special teams battle to complete the challenge during the regular season, Progressive Processing and Hormel made donations to local food pantries throughout Dubuque. There were 22 complete games in the regular season for the Saints. Last night, well, they did all three of those things, and they got themselves right back in this series. Find your perfect job today by visiting progressiveprocessingjobs.com. Dubuque Screw Products is the proud founding partner of the One Goal Mission. One Goal's mission is to provide fun, affordable training and equipment to youth hockey players and continue the growth of hockey in Dubuque. For each goal scored by the Fighting Saints during the regular season, Dubuque Screw Products made a donation to the Dubuque Youth Hockey Association with a goal of growing the sport of hockey in Dubuque. The Saints scored 271 times in the regular season. It's a lot harder to score in the playoffs, but 3 did the trick last night for the Dubuque Fighting Saints. Dubuque Screw Products, world-class precision machining. We will get you the lineups here for Game 4 of the 2024 Clark Cup Final. For the Fargo Force, it's Gavin Morrissey, the top line starting. Morrissey at center, Max Swanson on the left wing. He's still the leading point scorer in the playoffs with 16, but the Saints held him off the board last night. Lee Parks on the right wing there. Zam Plant will center Michael Lastarza and Brandon Svoboda. Jake Fisher down the middle on the third line with Eero Hakkarainen on the left, Harper Bentz on the right, Tom Leppa, the fourth line center, Merrill Stenari on the left, Reed Davatilla on the right. He's the one who scored the goal for Fargo last night. 5 points in the last 2 games in this series for Davatilla. Peter Cesar is the extra forward. On the back end, Brazen Bozer starts on the left, Michael Quinn on the right. That's the top pair. Then Michael Neumeyer and Leo Gruba play alongside each other. Finn McLaughlin and Tate Taylor. Eddie Revenig is the extra defenseman. Hampton Slukinski starts in goal. In the playoffs, he's 8-3 with a .929 save percentage, a 1.75 goals against average. A night ago, 28 saves on 31 shots. And, well, the Saints, for the first time in the playoffs, have been the opponent that has outshot Fargo. It's happened in 2 straight games. Looking to put a lot of pressure on Slukinski again tonight. Anton Castro is the backup from the head coach, Brett Skinner. For the Dubuque Fighting Saints, the captain, he scored the insurance goal last night. He was outstanding in Game 3. He'll start at center, Jake Sondriel. On his left wing, Michael Barron. On his right wing, Jay Reeder. And then it's Eric Paulson centering Uri Pekarczyk on the left, and Beckett Hendrickson on the right. Charlie Aaron with Gavin Cornforth. He scored the late power play goal in the first last night, a big one, his 3rd of the playoffs. He's on the left wing, Noah Powell on the right. Teddy Merrill centers the 4th line. Andrew King on the left, Josh Giuliani back in tonight on the right. Colin Frank is the extra forward. On the blue line, it's Fisher Scott starting with Yona Vizinen, Lucas St. Louis and Luke Malbuff, Seamus Powell with Jaden Jubinville, and Caleb Dick, the extra defenseman. The D core staying the exact same as last night for the Fighting Saints. Kevin Radler in his 11th playoff game. He's 7-3, a .936 save percentage, 1.66 goals against, and 3 shutouts in the playoffs. He's been outstanding, and he's back in there tonight. Dylan Johnson, the backup from the head coach, Kirk McDonald. Tonight's wellness report is brought to you by River Bluff CBD, the premier name in CBD products in Illinois. Out of the lineup tonight for the Fighting Saints, Matt Desiderio and Nick Romeo. River Bluff CBD aims to provide you with the best quality CBD product on either side of the Mississippi River. Help reduce the stigma in our community. When we come back, the Fighting Saints look to stay alive again for the 2nd straight night on home ice. It's Game 4 of the 2024 Clark Cup Final. It's next. From I'm On Arena in Dubuque, Iowa tonight for the second straight night. The Dubuque Fighting Saints on home ice looking to extend their season for one more game. It's game 4 of the 2024 Clark Cup Final, and it's tonight with the Dubuque Fighting Saints and the Fargo Force. The Force leading this series 2-1. The Saints hoping and putting out the effort tonight to try and push this thing to a decisive Game 5. Tonight's broadcast is driven by Finn and Ford and Kia, the official vehicles of your Fighting Saints. Stop by their locations off Highway 20 as Finn and Ford and Kia aim to change the perception of car buying. Quick, comfy, and fun. Finn and Ford and Kia, you're winning with Finnin. We welcome Jim Leitner to the broadcast. Kirk McDonald told us he thought last night was the best game his team played in this postseason. What did they do so well last night that they have to do again tonight?
Well, I really like the effort from start to finish. You know, even if they made a mistake, broke down in coverage a little bit, they hustled back and they broke up the play. There was really only one incident where they didn't do that. It ended up in the back of the net. They played consistent hockey throughout the night. Again, they didn't make a lot of mistakes, and when they did, they corrected them very quickly, and that helps out your goaltender, Kevin Radler, the whole night. So he saw shots. You know, from top to bottom, it was a complete game as we've seen from the Fighting Saints in a long time, and they're going to need that again tonight against a Fargo team that's hungry to take home the Clark Cup.
And when those pucks did get through to Radler, he made stops at big times. He was really good on the penalty kill last night. The Saints were 2 for 2 on the kill. They scored a power play goal. They scored a 4-on-4 goal last night, and they forced this game here tonight. The Saints and the Force in Game 4. We'll send it downstairs now for the national anthem.
Direct your attention to the flag as Ron Lubers performs tonight's national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
We are ready for hockey here in Game 4 of the 2024 Clark Cup Final. The Saints trail this series 2-1 on home ice tonight, looking to push it to a winner-take-all Game 5 on Tuesday night in Fargo, North Dakota. Tonight's officials, the referees are Luke Gagnon and Chaz Kanucky. The linesmen are Riley Hickey and James McQuestion. Well, the Saints answered the bell last night. Kirk McDonald wanted his team to take it one at a time. They got one. They need to get 2 tonight to force Game 5 and have a chance at the third. It's the Saints and the Force. It's the Clark Cup Final, and it's Game 4. The Force in all black head right to left in front of Hampton Slukinski. The Saints in their white sweaters left to right in front of Kevin Radler in this opening frame. It's Jake Sondriel and Gavin Morrissey in the circle to start us off tonight. The puck is down, and we're underway in Game 4. Fargo wins the draw. Barron works free. Far wing on the Fargo side to the right. It's flipped down the wall by Scott. Saints cycle, the crowd already into this thing. Saints at the point, D-to-D, Vizon into Scott. Lofts it wide of the net, bouncing around and back. It's battled for side of the Fargo cage to the right, 20 seconds into Game 4. Saints trail the series 2-1. They have the first chance in the offensive zone. The pass from down low from Reeder was tipped though, and Fargo plays out to center. Saints pick up at their own line. Scott ahead. Gruba right off the bench picks up in his own end. 35 seconds in, no score. First period in game 4. The Saints lost the first 2 in Fargo, and they won last night at home. The home team winning all the first 3 games of this series as the Saints move ahead left to right. Powell, Seamus, bobbled in center. It pops back to the Saints end. Jubenville will bank ahead to center. Josh Giuliani across ice. It's loose in the neutral zone. King battles along at the red line. Giuliani picks up, shovels in deep on the backhand. A minute into the first, no score in game 4. Puck up the near wall. Teddy Merrill hammers it back around the boards in behind the Fargo net to the right. Gruba up the wall, intercepted by Seamus. He's decked to the wall, and it's Lepa carrying to center. It's numbers for Fargo right to left. Lepa on the far wing across ice toward Newmeyer, and it's tipped away by Jubenville. Saints pick it up at the circle and outlet. Merrill bobbles to center, and it's taken back by Newmeyer in the neutral zone. 1:25 in to this first period, and Fargo picks up at its own blue line. Starting forward, right to left, the Saints pick it off in the neutral zone. Hendrickson near wall in front of the Fargo bench. Stopped at the blue line, and it's Svoboda carrying up the left wing into the Saints end. Dick seals him to the corner wall. It's loose there, turned up the boards by the Saints, and Lestar's on the left point. There to turn. He fans on the shot, though, and Hendrickson will knife it to center. Paulson ripping into the zone. Right wing, cutting toward the net. He goes in behind, tries to sweep it back in front. It was tipped. Back to the point. St. Louis there, cross ice. Pekarchik in the slot. Backhands through, and it was tipped wide behind the net. Hendrickson has it back. Up top, Pekarchik ribs. Blocked again by Taylor. Left wing, St. Louis off the far boards. Shifts down the wall. Across ice, has Paulson. It hops over his stick. He has it back off the wall. Toward the back door. Hendrickson couldn't catch up to it, but the Saints rip it back free at the point. 2:15 in, and it's bobbled by St. Louis. Plant rushes ahead. One-on-one against Dick, and Dick able to get the stick in there, knock it free, and Radler covers up in the Saints end. 2:21 into the first. No score, no shots yet, but Jim, feels like both teams have maybe had a chance to get a couple shots off so far, and well, that's what's been happening in this series. You have to really work to get your chances on net. It's really tight.
Fargo had a 3-on-1 opportunity going the other way. Fighting Saints hustle back and break it up. That's what I mentioned last night. If there was a mistake or was an odd man rushing going the other way, they hustled back and took it away. So you're going to see that kind of effort from both teams all night.
Kirk McDonald said last night obviously the Saints wanted to win the game last night, but he thought it could be a momentum shift in this series if the Saints were able to come away with it. They did, and they're trying to start quickly again. They've scored the first goal of the last 2 games. They capitalized on it last night, extending their lead unlike they could in game 2. Saints in their own end win the draw. They dump it all the way down. Newmeyer in his own end to the right. Out to center. Hakkarainen swats forward, takes a hit from Noah, and the puck trickles back in Saints end. Scott falls down in behind the net, still plays up the wall as Cornforth towards center. Almost 3 minutes played in the first, game 4. Cornforth to the neutral zone. It bounces around, and Visinen can't hang on. Puck bouncing still in the neutral zone. Aaron ties it up on the far wall and then takes it to the red line and tips it in to the Fargo end. 3:05 in, first period. Still no shots on goal yet in this game. Gruber right to left, has Morrissey jetting into the Saints end. Dancing high slot, poked away by Seamus. Sondriel scoops to center. Noah trying to bat it into the zone. He has it, rumbling toward the net, in on goal, and it bounced on him, and Slukinski still got a tip on it, but Powell never really got the full shot away. Back into the Saints end. Gruber, the blast. It's stopped by Radler underneath the right arm. It was Park streaking into the zone, dropped it back to the trailer Gruber, and he let it fly. Ended up in Radler's equipment, and he tosses the puck aside. 3:29 into the first, no score, and a chance now for both teams, a shot apiece.
Yeah, I do believe you're going to see great defensive effort, guys busting their butts back to get on defense and take away shooting lanes, and you're going to take away passing lanes, and so far the first couple of minutes we've seen that.
First goal so important in these games. Kirk McDonald telling us it does change the game a little bit to play with the lead. Saints in their own end. The shot from the point tipped away by Dubuque and up out of play. We'll hear from Seamus Powell and Gavin Cornforth both a little bit later on too in the broadcast. And well, they both said how much different it is being able to play with the lead. The Saints last night led after both periods, first 2 periods. The first time in the whole series they led after any period. Able to score first in the last 2, trying to start quickly again tonight. They win the draw on their own end to the left, the outlet on. Reeder across ice for Barron. Corrals on the left wing, speeds into the offensive zone. Stops top of the left circle, his shot tipped toward the net. Reeder falling down, tried to feed in front, but it never got there. and Quinn will pick it up behind his own net. Up the near side for Bozer, his outlet. It goes past everybody all the way down the ice. Seamus tried to play it, though, so no icing. He's back for it in behind his own cage. 4 minutes played in the first period of Game 4. Saints trail the series 2-1. No score yet tonight. It's Reeder in center. Over skates, then regains control. Left wing feed for Sandro. Back in front. Reeder on the backhand. It's shouldered down by Slukinski right at the top of the blue paint. Puck back to the point. St. Louis takes it off the wall, left side down the boards, and it was tipped away by Gruba towards center, and he stood up by St. Louis. Saints will pick it back up inside their own blue line. 4:20 in first period. Scoreless here in Dubuque. Newmeyer at his own blue line for Fargo. Right to left, across center ice into the Saints end. Stenari, left wing. Chips into the corner. It goes all the way around the boards to the right to Abatillo, the goal scorer for Fargo last night. Into the corner. King seals him off across ice, and Malbuff will chip it to center up the far boards. King trying to knock it into the offensive zone. He did enough, and Newmeyer will pick back up in his own end. 4:45 into the first period. It's scoreless in Dubuque between the Saints and the Force in Game 4 of the Clark Cup Final. Dabatilla picks off in center. Right wing into the Saints end. Turns back top of the far circle. Looking toward the point. King knocked it backward. It goes through the slot on the shot from Taylor. Blocked by the Saints. And then they pick up at the circles. 5:10 in. Malbuff outlets. Left to right. Frank rolling into the zone. Cross ice feed. Backside. The shot by King. It was stopped with a blocker by Slukinski. Saints fourth line creating a chance on the rush there. Scott picks up in the far corner all alone. The Saints are changing lines. Fish will play it around the boards to the near side. Visinen leaves back to the point. Pekarchik right side. He'll shoot through traffic. Tip wide into the far corner. Scott back to the top. Paulson on the left point. Cross ice for Visinen. He holds on the right side. Cross ice. Left circle. Paulson snaps. It goes all the way through traffic. Slukinski didn't see it, but it bounced off the end boards and back to center. 5:40 in first period, and the Saints go right back in, but offside at the Fargo line. 5:43 into the first. It's still scoreless here in Dubuque in Game 4 of the Clark Cup Final.
Finnin, 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 finnin. You're winning with Finnin. When you drive away in a Finnin car, you're winning with Finnin. And you're always treated like a superstar. You're winning with Finnin. We take pride in customer loyalty. We're leaders in the community. So come on down and you will see. Finnin, Finnin, you're winning with Finnin. Finnin.
Fighting Saints looking to live another day here in the Clark Cup Final. Game 5, if necessary, scheduled for Tuesday night in Fargo. This, no matter what happens tonight, is the final home game of the season for the Dubuque Fighting Saints. And the Saints, 5:43 into the first period of Game 4. It's scoreless in neutral zone face-off in the far dot in center. Saints pick up as they salute Ryan St. Louis, Saint for life, Lucas's brother, who's in the crowd tonight watching the Saints here in the Clark Cup Final. And it's picked up in center, though, by Fargo. On the right wing, the shot by Parks. Saints get a stick in. It goes up out of play. 6:02 in first period, no score, Jim. That's exactly what you've been talking about the last two nights. Saints, maybe they allow the rush to come in, but they get a stick on a shot and knock it up.
Yeah, that's such a key factor. I know last night the only time that didn't happen was on the goal. But every other time, it looked like Fargo had something cooking the other way. They used their speed to go back and catch up. And, that's an area where the Fighting Saints might have an advantage in speed. So take advantage of that and make up for little mistakes that you make and live another day.
6:02 into the first period in Game 4 of the Clark Cup Final. Saints out shooting Fargo 3-1 so far, no score. Face-off Saints end to the left. Far dot. It's one back to the point by Fargo. Reaching across. Newmeyer keeps in. To the left point. Has Gruba there. He'll loft it down the boards. All the way around to the right side. It comes up to the top. Newmeyer stop, but it stays in the zone. And it's flicked back across ice. Jubinville there for the Saints. Cranks it to center. All the way down the ice. Reeder wins the race, so no icing. Slukinski out of the net. Plays up the wall. Gruba tips ahead. Saints force free. Barron in toward the front. Reeder was there. Newmeyer just got a tip to it before Reeder could swing at it, and it's picked up on the right wing by Parks. Far side, right to left. Morrissey back to Parks into the Saints end. Cross ice Swanson. He'll leave it back to the circles. Gruba on his backhand. Never got the shot off. Goes to the point for Quinn. On the left side, Gruba chips it down low, tipped away by the Saints in front, and then Reeder picks it up on the centering feed by Fargo, and the Saints tip to center. Sandriel works free into the offensive zone. 2-on-1 with Barron. Sandriel right circle, the rip. He scores! He beats Slokinski to the blocker. 6:56 into the first, and the captain delivers again for the Saints. It's 1-0 Dubuque in game 4. Jake Sandriel forcing the turnover in center and does it himself. He puts the Saints ahead.
That's what you expect from your leadership group, and obviously Jake's been a great captain, a great leader all season long. And last night Coach McDonald said that this is big boy hockey. This time of the year, it's big boy hockey, and your leaders need to step up. And no question about it, Jake Sandriel forced that turnover, came in and scored. Beautiful goal, and now the Fighting Saints have the momentum, the same momentum they had last night.
Goals in back-to-back games for Sandriel, and he is leading the way here in the Clark Cup Final. It's 1-0 Saints. Fargo wins the draw 7 minutes in to the first period in game 4, and for the third straight game in this series, the Saints have scored first. It's loose in the neutral zone, turned in toward the Saints line as Lastarza falls down, and he's a little bit slow to get up. There's no arm in the air as the whistle came. I think it's just offside against Fargo here in the Saints zone with 12:49 left in the first and a 1-0 Dubuque lead. Lastarza back up on all fours. The Fargo athletic trainer out to tend to Lastarza, who's now up on his feet and heading back to the bench.
He's certainly familiar with this arena. He formerly played for the Waterloo Blackhawks, obviously one of the big rivals for the Fighting Saints. Ended up getting traded to Sioux Falls and then eventually to Fargo, but he's played a lot of games in this building as a member of the Waterloo Blackhawks.
Saints pick up the puck off the draw in the neutral zone. It's Aaron Cornforth and Noah Powell out. They win it and knock it all the way in deep. Taylor behind his own net. Just past the 7-minute mark into the first in game 4. Jake Sandriel scored for the Saints to put them up 1-0. Loose in center. Stenari picks up right to left across the Saints line. Left wing feed, it hops over Lepa's stick. He sweeps it wide of the net. Back up top for Taylor. He'll blast wide of the net. Near side, Lepa chops it back in front. It's loose in the blue paint, and the Saints sweep to the wall. Noah picks up, and he'll start to center. Reeder the only assist for Sandriel as the Saints lead 1-0. Back into the zone. Charlie Aaron, the rip. It is kicked down with the left toe by Slukinski and turned to center by Fargo. Just about 8 played here in the first period, and the Saints lead 1-0 with the captain putting the Saints ahead. It's Noah Powell at his own blue line. The crowd is energized here in IMON Arena. Right wing, Noah rumbles down the boards into the offensive zone. Shields the puck in behind the net. He's canceled out by Bozer, and it's Fisher who will backhand towards center. Ben swats in, Saints end to the left. Dubuque rushes back for it. 11:40 to play in the first. 1-0 Saints. Visinen leaves it in behind the net for Scott, and he will skate out to the left wing and bank it towards center. Andrew King outside his own blue line, left wing feed for Frank, tipping into the offensive zone. It's knocked in deep. Frank upended, and the puck goes into the corner. Swatted away by Gruba up to the far corner wall, and Newmeyer will chip it off the glass from there. It bounces to center, and Bentz will chip along. Saints pick up at their own line. 11:15 to play in the first. It's 1-0 Dubuque. Shots 5-1 in favor of the Saints. Slukinski out of his own net, plays up the far wall on his backhand. The Saints forechecking, knock the puck to center, the fourth line out, and they win it in the neutral zone. King right side into the zone, his wrist shot, and it was blocked by Gruba, up and out of play over the net behind Slukinski. 10:59 to go in the first. It's 1-0 Fighting Saints. And Jim, this is the Saints team with the pressure they've been able to put on Fargo the last couple of games. Fargo hasn't been outshot much this year in the playoffs. Only the last 2 games they've been outshot, and the Saints have really continued to put the pressure on since game 1.
They have. They've taken advantage of their speed and created opportunities off the speed. So, continue to do that. Continue to put pressure on a team that hasn't faced a ton of pressure all year, and eventually you're going to be rewarded for it.
Saints scored first in game 2. They couldn't extend their lead. Last night, they scored first again very late in the first period. They extended the lead in the second. Tonight, they've struck first. The captain, Jake Sandriel, is third of the playoffs from James Reeder, and the Saints leading 1-0, looking to extend the lead to 2 here in the opening frame. 10:59 left in the opening period. It's 1-0 Dubuque. Paulson, Pekarchik, Hendrickson, Uri, and the Gophers out for this offensive zone face-off. It's Jubenville and Seamus Powell on the point. Seamus has been outstanding so far in this series. The goal last night really crucial for the Saints. Saints win the draw to the corner. Hendrickson rips it off the wall, goes in behind for Pekarchik. He'll swing it back to the near boards. It banks ahead, and Swanson picks up. He'll shuffle to center. Saints pick back up in the neutral zone. Paulson's cross-ice feed block, but he splits 2 Fargo players and wins the puck back. Left wing, he'll chip it in deep. Saints will chase. In behind the net, Bozer there first for Fargo. Sweep to the corner. Paulson along the wall, back across ice. Pekarchik to the near boards. Gets there first, sweeps to the point, has Jubenville, who tries to backhand down low, but it chipped off the glass and out of play. So a whistle and a neutral zone draw coming up with 10:24 left in the first period. 1-0, Saints lead. Jake Sondrial, who forced a turnover in center ice and just rolled into the zone and beat Slukinski. Those are the types of plays you need in these types of series, and the Saints got one from their captain, who's out to take this draw.
Perfectly placed shot as well. You know, it's one thing to create the turnover and get the opportunity, but I don't think he could ask for a better placement of his shot to beat the goaltender Slukinski.
Sondriel can't win the neutral zone face-off against Plant, and Fargo moves right to left. Stopped at the Saints line by St. Louis. It's bounced in on Radler from center. He kicks it down to the wall. St. Louis cross ice toward Reeder. It tips off his stick, loose in the neutral zone. Reeder catches up. Cross ice, far wing at Sondriel. Rumbling back up the left wing. Turns around in the corner, falls down, and it's tied up there. Barron comes to support, but Gruba takes the puck back behind the net. Halfway through this opening period, Saints lead 1-0 in Game 4. They trail this series 2-1, looking to force a Game 5 on Tuesday as Gruba swats it up and out of play on his backhand. It hits the rail on the ceiling, and a whistle comes. Saints lead 1-0, 9:52 left in the first.
Finnin, 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 finnin. You're winning with Finnin. When you drive away in a Finnin car, you're winning with Finnin. And you're always treated like a superstar. You're winning with Finnin. We take pride in customer loyalty. We're leaders in the community. So come on down and you will see. Finnin, Finnin, Finnin. You're winning with Finnin. Finnin.
Tonight's broadcast on Eagle 102.3 is presented by Michelin in Piasta. The Dubuque Fighting Saints lead 1-0 courtesy of the captain. And the Saints are heading back to the ice after the timeout with Jake Sondriel on the ice. Offensive zone face-off for Dubuque. They're out shooting Fargo 5-1 so far through 10 minutes and 8 seconds of this first period in Game 4. Fargo a 2-1 series lead. The Fighting Saints won last night to get back within 1, and they're looking to even the series tonight on home ice. Sondriel, offensive end to the right against Plant. Jake wins back. It's Dick down the right wing board, stops at the hash marks, goes back up top. Holding on the point, across to the left side, St. Louis bobbles, then lofts toward the net. It tips through into the corner, up the wall, and out to center. Lestarza was shaken up before, back out there, sweeps across the Saints line. Swoboda has it tied up. Scott caroms as he fell down into the boards. The puck beneath him, he gets up, plays it up the boards. That was St. Louis, rather, and it comes to the point. Swoboda picks up in the slot, the shot, save, rebound. Raylor kicks the right leg, stops the second chance, and it stays out. The Saints pick up on the wall. Kevin Raylor just reached the right leg out and made an insane stop in front. It's back to the Fargo end. Bozer picks back up. 9:10 left in the first. It's 1-0 Saints. Rattled in deep. Raylor out of the net, hard up the glass. It rims up the ledge, bounces to the point, kept in by Quinn. Down the right wing boards for Plant. Across ice, left point, Bozer snaps, he scores! It went over Raylor's glove. It may have been deflected. Raylor didn't seem like he saw it all the way, and it's a 1-1 game with 8:56 to go in the first. Bozer leads the line. Seems like he will get credit, and Fargo ties this game up. 8:56 left in the first.
Much quicker response for the Force tonight than they had last night. You know, last night Dubuque had a 2-0 lead and into the second period, and Fargo got the final answer. But you know, this is a much quicker response for them, and You know, something that they certainly needed after last night. They didn't play necessarily bad last night. They just didn't get the result they wanted, and now they're all evened up here at 8:56 to go.
Fargo had one shot before the last shift or two, and now they have four, and one of them has gone in. It's a tie game, 1-1. Saints win the draw, dump in. On the left point, far side, it's Scott down the boards. Cornforth along the half mark. He'll be pinned to the boards. He has it in his skates. Two Fargo players battling there as Noah Powell comes to try and help win the puck free. It's chipped along, gloved by Scott, but it tipped up out of play off of his glove. And a neutral zone draw coming. 8:33 to play in the first. It's 1-1. And the Saints and Force in another tight one here so far tonight with 8:33 left in the first.
Well, you really didn't expect anything different. You expected this entire series to be as close as it has been. And even game two that ended up 6-3, that was a really tight game deep into the third period.
The Saints felt like the first two games were really one-shot games, and they gave up the empty netters late. Fargo probably thinking a very similar thing about last night's game, that they were right there in it. It's 1-1 here with 8:33 left in the first of game 4. Saints win the draw in center. Leppa had broken his stick on the draw. He runs to the bench and gets a new one. It's gloved down by Gruba in his own end, and Newmeyer will twirl back behind the Fargo net to the right. 8:20 to play in the first. It's 1-1. Gloved down at center, out of the air by Gruba, and he swings into the Saints end. Stenari can't handle the pass. Jubenville chips up the wall, blocked by Stenari. Aaron pins him to the board. It's swept down low by Davatilla in behind the net. Seamus there for the Saints, up the left wing and out to center for Cornforth. He'll outlet toward Noah and into the offensive zone. It was blocked right away and back to center. Davatilla ahead, and it's dumped in by Hakkarainen. 7:50 to go in the first period. It's 1-1 in game 4. Saints trail the series 2-1, looking to extend this to game 5 here in their final home game of this season. It is on the far wall in the offensive end for the Saints. Hendrickson intercepts the outlet on the near corner. Turned in back. Pekarczyk takes over for the Saints. Then it's tipped away from him. And Pekarczyk in the corner can't catch back up. It's scooped to center and out. Malbuff back to his own line. Will hold on. 7:20 to go in the first. 1-1. Pekarczyk has the pass go behind him. He blocks it. Works free into the offensive zone. Cutting toward the front. He falls down. It's loose. Goes back to the point. Left point. St. Louis there. Tries to chuck it toward the net. It was blocked into the corner. Pekarczyk along the far corner wall to the right. Wins the battle. Along to the top of the circle. It's chopped away from him. Benz picks up. He's the one who made the play, and then he'll flip it into the Saints end. Rolling on edge. Far wall. Swanson pinned to the boards by Malbuff. Pekarczyk there to pick up the puck. And he outlets, but it's intercepted in the neutral zone by Parks. Then Pekarczyk swats it back free and banks it in to the Fargo end. 6:45 to play in the first. It's tied at 1. Here in game 4 of the Clark Cup Final. Right to left. Quinn across, tipped into the Saints end, all the way in back. Väisänen waiting for it, then has to rush because Swanson was crashing in, and Swanson gets the puck, but is passed to the point, tipped past Newmeyer, and in center, Swanson will regain. 6.5 to go in the first. 1-1. Fargo right to left, tip back in, Saints end. It's Väisänen behind the net. Quickly ahead for Merrill. He'll break out off the far wall. He banks it to King, rushing into the zone all alone. The shot! It was saved by Slukinski. Right shoulder stop on Andrew King. King picks back up. Right circle. Leaves it to the wall for Merrill. Tipped in front. Giuliani loose. They dig away. And Slukinski covers up. His defenseman able to sweep it back to him. And some pushing and shoving at the end of that. The Saints' fourth line now has created 2 really good chances tonight. And the Saints with a good response after giving up the tying goal. The fourth line creating a chance, and the Saints will have an offensive zone draw at the Fargo end with 6:05 left in the first.
Andrew King got bopped in the nose there by La Starza. Could have easily been a roughing penalty on that, but no worse for the wear. They're going to let him play, and you can expect that kind of physicality when you go to the net. You're going to get bumps and bruises, and it's the way they're going to call it tonight.
There haven't been many power plays in this series. 5 for the Saints, 6 for Fargo through 3 games. None yet tonight. Sondriel offensive zone draw, can't win it. It's Gruba right to left. 6 minutes to go in the first. In game 4, it's tied at 1. The Saints struck first with Sondriel, then Fargo answered with Brazen Bozer. On the near wing, Saints move left to right. Barron chops in on his backhand. It caroms in behind the Fargo net. Gruba there for the Force. He'll bank it across behind for Taylor. He'll move to center, and Stenari chips it toward the neutral zone. It pinballs around there. Barron trying to force ahead, but it's Fargo back down into the Saints end. 5:33 left in the first. Jubenville behind his own net, ripping towards center on the left wing. He was stopped in the neutral zone, and it's swatted back in deep to the Saints end. Icing is waved off. It didn't have enough on it. Sheamus around the boards up to the near side, swatted ahead by Reeder, and it did get out to center before Bozer gloved it down. And it's offside against Fargo with 5:19 to play in the first. 1-1 the score. The Saints and the Force in game 4 here in Dubuque. Charlie Aaron and Sam Plant in the neutral zone for a face-off near dot in front of the Saints bench and their own blue line to the left. It's played all the way down the ice off the draw. Slukinski will leave it in behind his net, and Quinn will outlet. Tip to center. Plant stripped by Noah, and Cornforth will slice across to the neutral zone. He takes a hit in front of the Fargo bench by Svoboda, and it goes in Saints end to the left. Dick rushing back for it in behind the net. It's tipped along, bounces back in front of the net. It went all the way to the top of the slot, but nobody could corral the bouncer, and the Saints will pick up on the far board. St. Louis trying to tip it to center on the third chance. The Saints move ahead. Noah rumbles in, offensive end, near wing to the right, off the top of the circle, centering feed block. Dick picks up and shuffles in behind the net. Cornforth on the cycle, a big one last night for Cornforth. His pass, though, bounces on St. Louis and rolls over his stick to center. Lucas back and leaves for Gavin Cornforth at his own blue line. 4.5 to go in the first. It's 1-1. Saints in Force. Bozer in his own end, across to the far boards, and Quinn will look to outlet from there. It's tipped through center by Hakkarainen. Buys it in across, has it back in behind his own net. Trying to shuttle towards center. He has Hendrickson on the near wall. The pass off of Paulson's skate. The Saints pick up. Hendrickson ahead. Right wing, chips along. Hakkarainen back forward in his own net. 4:05 left in the first. It's 1-1. Saints and Force. Fisher roaring up the right side. The shot, he scores! It snuck through the post and beat Radler. Somehow it snuck past Radler's left skate, and Jake Fisher puts Fargo ahead for the first time tonight. It's 2-1 Force with 3:57 left.
As a backhander as well, I don't know if just Kevin was off his angle just a touch, or what happened there, but it just really it went between his body and the post. There couldn't have been a whole lot of room there for that to sneak in. It's a really well-placed shot, and I don't know how that went in, looking at the replay. But again, Fargo with a great response. They're going to have a 2-1 lead here, just, kind of similar to what we saw in game 1, where Fargo scored 2 late goals to erase a 1-0 lead.
So the Saints have to try and respond. It was 1-0 Dubuque. It's now 2-1 Force. Fargo wins the draw and immediately ices the puck. It goes down for a face-off in the Fargo end with 3:51 to play in the first. 2-1 Force. Radler, somehow there was some room there. It bounced off maybe his stick or his skate blade and snuck in. Saints in the offensive end for a draw. 3:51 to play in the first. It's 2-1 Fargo. Paulson, offensive end to the right on the far circle against Morrissey in the face-off circle. Saints with 6 shots so far in the first. 1 has beaten Slukinski. Saints try to sweep the puck ahead. Paulson ties up bottom of the circle, comes back to the point. Sheamus tips down the wall, has Pekarchik, who's overtaken, and then Taylor will shuttle to center. Morrissey ahead, and it's off to the near wing. Swanson into the Saints end, drops back. Morrissey, check from behind it, bounces in front, kicked around, underneath Radler. He slides across, doesn't know where it is, but he's able to hold on and hold it underneath his pads. That puck was bouncing every which way. Radler slid across and was able to hold it underneath him with 3:33 left in the first. It stays 2-1 Fargo, and that is important to not get a bad bounce there to go down by 2.
No question about it. Now the Fighting Saints have to respond as well as Fargo did early in the hockey game. So, but again, we've seen that all season long from the Fighting Saints, their ability to come back from deficits, and still plenty of time left to go here to get that equalizer.
Teddy Merrill in his own end against Morrissey. 3:33 left in the first. Saints win cleanly. Malbuff outlets for King. This line has generated some chances offensively tonight. King ahead on the wing for Frank. It's tipped back to center, and Swanson will rush ahead right to left. One-on-one with Malbuff. He'll drop back to Gruba, trailing into the zone. His shot rifles over the bar, off the glass, and rolls back to center. 3:15 to play in the first. 2-1 Force. Gruba takes a hit by Merrill in front of the Saints bench. It's loose at the Saints blue line. Malbuff trying to work free along the bench, and it pops in toward the Saints end. A penalty is coming up, and it's going to go against the Saints. Elbowing will be called as Swanson was hit. And Andrew King, I think Andrew King is being called for elbowing here, but he seems to be thrown off by being called, and it's going to be a power play for Fargo. This is big. The Saints to the Crawford North PK for the first time in this game, and they're down 2-1 with 3 minutes to play in the first.
Well, Swanson's head snapped back, so the trailing official is going to see that every time and have the arm go up. So big kill here for the Fighting Saints. It get a kill here and get some momentum going.
Saints can't win the draw. Quinn with 3 minutes to go in the first, a 2-1 Fargo lead. Down the left wing for Gruba. Saints 2 for 2 on the kill last night, and they need a big one late in the first tonight. It's Swanson on the right point across the top of the zone for Quinn. Left side Plant along to the near half wall. Gruba skates to the bottom of the circle and feeds back up top. It's Quinn across the blue line, back to the left. Gruba snaps. It was blocked by the Saints. Bounces back to the far side of the net, and it's worked to the top. Swanson on the right side. Skates to the bottom of the circle. Leaves it on the wall for Plant up top. 2:25 in the period, 1:25 on the power play. The blast by Gruba, one-timer, went wide. Back up top on the right side, Quinn. Across ice, Gruba works back to his right and leaves it there for Plant. To the left for Quinn, top of the circle, holding on there, shifts it back down the left side, Plant to the bottom of the circle, near wing, all the way around behind the Saints net, chips back to the point, it's Gruba there, walks the blue line, feeds back to the right for Swanson, he holds on, side of the net, it hopped over Plant, halfway through the power play, Vizon and Dex Plant, but Fargo still holds the puck, it's Parks behind the Saints net, he'll bank to the point, Swanson there, 1:50 in the period, 2-1 Fargo, right side, Swanson, top of the circle, checked by Sondrell, it's loose, chip toward the front, saved by Radler, rebound behind the net. Radler was reaching out. They tried to bank it in off Radler. It's loose. Turn up top. Swanson left side. The blast! It was blocked by the Saints. They can't clear. Swanson, one-timer. Vizon, it got his skate to it. It knocks up out of play, and the Saints get a whistle. 1 minute 27 just spent on the kill in their own end straight. The Saints get some blocks, helter-skelter, and they're able to keep the puck out. 1:32 left in the first period. It stays 2-1 Fargo.
I don't know if the referees saw that, but Gruba just gave Vizon an elbow to the chops as he was skating to the bench, but I think it was a situation where neither of the officials were looking at that play, but he got away with one there. Big kill for the Fighting Saints so far. They've done a great job of, just scrambling and keeping the puck out of the net no matter whatever it would take.
Fargo changes units, 1:32 left in the period, 33 on the power play. It is Bozer at the point. Fargo wins the draw. His shot rips wide. Back up top, Lastarza. Cross ice for the left wing, Taylor. Up to the point. Bozer holds on there, swings it to the right side, 20 on the power play. 2-1 Fargo late in the first. Fisher on the far hash marks. Down to the corner wall for Lastarza. He'll cycle back up top. Noah racing across to meet Lastarza, top of the far circle. Leaves to the point. Bozer across ice, 5 on the power play. Taylor across the blue line, holds on at the top. Bozer shifts to the left wing. It's back on the near circle. King out of the box, loose in front. Saints fine. Noah has it, and outlets towards center. Kick by Bozer and into the Fargo end. 50 seconds left in the period. The Saints get a Crawford North penalty kill. King working the puck free in the offensive end to the right. They dig away. It's Aaron and Cornforth out with him as King exited the box, and he has the puck in the corner, lofting in behind the net. He's pinned to the boards, 35 in the period. Aaron trying to muscle free in the far corner. Cornforth lays a hit. It comes up the wall. Dabatilla can't handle. And then at center, Seamus will rip it right back in with 23 seconds left in the first period. 2-1, Force lead late in the opening frame, but a big penalty kill by the Saints to keep it at a 2-1 deficit. 15 to go in the first period. Taylor holds on inside his own zone. Right to left, Taylor starts forward into the Saints end, chipping in behind the net and all the way in back for St. Louis. Up the wall, and Cornforth will take it to center, and that will do it for the first period. The Saints strike first, but Fargo answers. 2 goals in the first period for the Force, and they respond to take a 2-1 lead after 20 minutes of play tonight. Jim, the Saints got the first goal again, but couldn't extend the lead. They give up a couple. Bad bounce on the second goal, but Saints still right there in this game and have to keep trying to play the way they did last night and at least for the first part of the first period tonight.
Yeah, no question about it. Fargo ended up really rallying in the rest of the period. They ended up out shooting the Saints 9-6 in the period. But again, a great start for the Fighting Saints. They were controlling the play. They were, controlling the opportunities in the offensive zone. They had a great start, but again, a couple goals there that ended up in the back of the net, and that's how Fargo switched the tide here. And now it's just a chance for the Fighting Saints to go into the dressing room, reset a little bit, come out for the second period, and try to get that one back and get this game all tied up.
Sandra for the Saints, and then it was Bozer for Fargo as well as Fisher, and it's 2-1 Force after 20 minutes of play. We'll come back, conversation with Seamus Powell in the intermission, and we'll get you all set for period number 2 here in Game 4, 2-1 Fargo after 1.
We're joined by Saints defenseman Seamus Powell as the Saints take on the Fargo Force in Game 4 of the Clark Cup Final. Seamus, last night you guys came home, big crowd. What kind of boost was that for you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it was an electric atmosphere. The fans showed up. That's all we asked them to really do is just be loud and, us step on the ice. We felt confident in front of them, and, we like to play at home in front of them.
You guys got the lead at the end of the first, and in the second you're able to extend the lead. How much easier is it to play with the lead?
Yeah, I mean, the past couple of games after the first, we've kind of been playing from behind, so to get that goal at the end of the first with 10 seconds, obviously, Corny in the right place at the right time, the power play executed, so that was big, and then, the second goal was just, an insurance goal and kind of got us, buzzing again.
What do you think you guys did well last night that maybe changed from the first two games?
I think we were just more prepared. Our backs were against the wall. We were down, but we're not out yet. So I think we just knew what we had to do. We prepared all week for it, and we went out there and did it.
All right, thanks, Seamus. Saints taking on the Force in Game 4 tonight.
Welcome back into I'm On Arena as the Fighting Saints trail 2-1 after one period of play tonight against the Fargo Force in Game 4 of the Clark Cup Final. Saints scored first in this game for the third straight game in this series, but as what happened in Game 2, the Saints could not hold the lead in the first period. 2 goals by Fargo after the Saints took the 1-0 lead, and it's 2-1 Force after 20 minutes. Sondriel from Jay Reeder at 6:56. Then 11:04 in. Brazen Bozer from Zam Plan and Michael Quinn. And a few minutes after that, Jake Fisher snuck a puck past Kevin Radler. That was assisted by Leo Gruba. The Saints did get a big penalty kill at the end of the period and head into the second, looking to try and come back in this one. The first period shots were 9-6 in favor of Fargo. The Saints were up 5-1 most of the period, so the Saints were outshot 8-1 after they scored their goal in the period. So there was a push there from Fargo. The Saints have to try to come up with their own push. The only penalty in the first was the one against the Saints. They were able to kill it off. So that's where we stand here in Dubuque. We'll come back in just a few with the second period in Game 4 of the Clark Cup Final.
Hey y'all, my name is Tiara, and a little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is that it has the perfect amount of spice to jumpstart my day. Whoever thought of it, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Robert, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is the biscuit. It reminds me of my grandma's homemade biscuit. It's always buttery and savory. Then you add the spices, instant classic.
Order the Spicy Chicken Biscuit on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonials.
Hey, I'm the Crawford guy.
Ooh, do you guys always speak at the same time?
Sorry, I'll go first. You know, if you need help with your heating or air conditioning or plumbing, Crawford Company can solve your problem.
But what about your problem?
What problem?
Do you not hear yourselves? Take it from me, the Crawford lady.
And me, the Crawford guy.
Crawford is the comfort company.
Visit CrawfordNorth.com.
Progressive Processing, a Hormel Foods company, is hiring great people across all shifts with new starting wages of $20.60 per hour to $25 per hour with the potential to earn up to $27 per hour. The team at Progressive Processing takes pride in producing popular and trusted Hormel Foods products that are sold in grocery stores across the country. They provide industry-leading benefits, a culture of engagement, and a variety of schedule options. See their openings and find your perfect job today at ProgressiveProcessingJobs.com.
At Great Clips, we want you to feel good about getting a great haircut. That's why we created the Great Care Promise, our commitment to keeping everyone as safe as possible in the salon. From contactless online check-in and social distancing to rigorous sanitization and mask requirements at all Great Clips locations, we're doing more to keep our salons clean and comfortable. Check in online and get a ready next text when you're next. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. All salons are independently owned and operated. Contact your local salon for specific safety measures.
Since Yamaha introduced their first golf car in 1979, Harris Golf Cars has offered friendly sales and service at their family-owned and operated locations in Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Nebraska. Come see the wide selection of gas and electric golf cars, as well as Yamaha's complete line of products available for your golf, campground, lake home, neighborhood, and farm needs. Harris takes trade-ins of all brands, and their expert technicians are here to repair and maintain your golf cars. Harris Golf Cars, your destination for all golf car needs. In Dubuque by Hobby Lobby or online.
Let's party at a Dubuque Fighting Saints game. Book your next group outing with a Quick Start Party Corner at a Saints game. Bring up to 20 people to enjoy an exciting night of fun and hockey with an unbeatable view of all the action on the ice in your own reserved seating area. Quick Start Party Corners start at $500 with food and beverage options available. Party Corners are perfect for corporate nights, birthdays, bachelorette parties, or a friend's night out. Get together, pack the house, and cheer on your Dubuque Fighting Saints. For more information, visit DubuqueFightingSaints.com.
WindStar Lines is a family-owned and operated local Dubuque charter bus company that has been serving customers nationwide since 1995. With 8 Midwestern hubs and a varied fleet, including minibuses, motor coaches, sleeper buses, and vans, we are able to accommodate any group, large or small, to any destination near or far. With over 20 years in the travel and tourism industry, our reputation for superior safety, impeccable equipment, and unparalleled customer service makes us the right choice for your group's transportation needs. Now hiring full and part-time drivers. Go WindStar.
Hey, I'm Jackie, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit is the chicken. It is golden brown, so juicy, so delicious. It's the perfect savory start to my day.
Start your day with the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit, available on the Chick-fil-A app. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonial.
Don't want to miss any Fighting Saints action this season? Order a flex plan today. Starting at just 5 games. Choose the games and seat location to witness the Saints fight for a 6th Clark Cup. Plans start at $9 per ticket. Visit DubuqueFightingSaints.com.
Hi, I'm the Crawford guy.
And I'm the Crawford lady.
You know, Crawford is the comfort company. We're experts at keeping you comfortable all year long.
So if your home or business has areas that feel too warm or too cold, Crawford will get to work and solve the problem.
Visit CrawfordNorth.com to see energy rebates and discounts on qualifying systems from Bryant. Whatever it takes.
For heating and air conditioning,
Plumbing and drain cleaning,
count on Crawford Company.
Visit CrawfordNorth.com.
Welcome back into I'm On Arena. We are set for period number 2 here between the Fighting Saints and the Force in Game 4 of the Clark Cup Final. The Fargo Force lead the series 2-1. They lead this game 2-1 after 20 minutes. Jim Leitner is next to me. My name's Josh Starr. Jim, the Saints, they scored first again for the 3rd straight game, but like Game 2, they couldn't hold on to it. What do they need to do to get back in this thing?
I think they still have to play the way they did the first period. I think there's nothing wrong with the way they played the first period. Just got a couple shots that handcuffed Kevin Radler. Just continue to force the issue and continue to play up, be hard on pucks. Force the issue, and eventually you're going to go in the back of the net. I thought they had some real good looks. They controlled the period for large stretches of that first period, and they continue to that. They're going to end up getting a couple more in the back of the net. So just continue what you're doing and just be a little bit more, cautious on the defensive end, and it'll be all right.
Last night, the Saints and the special teams really helped. Late in the first period, they scored. The penalty kill was 2 for 2. Late in the first period tonight, the Saints got a big kill, down 2-1. Now they start the second period. They haven't had any power plays tonight, but they're looking to tie this thing up at 2. It's a 2-1 Fargo lead in both this game and this Clark Cup Final best-of-5 series. Dubuque on home ice looking to extend the series to Game 5 in Fargo on Tuesday. They're down 2-1 as the teams are set for the second. Saints in white and right to left. The Force in black, left to right. Slukinski, 5 of 6 in the first. Radler, 7 of 9 in the first. Sondriel and Morrissey ready to start off period number 2. Puck's down, and Fargo wins the draw left to right. Force leading 2-1, hammering deep to the Saints end to open up the second period. In the near corner to the right, it's Scott leaving free, Vizon in ahead, and Reeder will weave to center. On the left wing, Sondriel jets ahead and then cranks it in deep, all the way around the boards behind the net. Bozer in the far wall, sweeps up the boards, it bounces past Reeder. Numbers for Fargo if they hurry, 3-on-2. Morrissey left to right, into the Saints end, Sondriel back to even it up. Parks pass, deflected by Fisher Scott, away off the end boards, and the Saints start ahead. 30 seconds into the second. 2-1 Fargo. Barron toward the front off Reeder's skate, and he was tied up, and it goes in on goal. Slukinski covers. 36 seconds in to the second. 2-1 Fargo. Saints get an offensive zone draw early on in this second period.
Again, you can't get discouraged by the fact that you're down by a goal here. I mean, you're one shot away from tying this up. Just continue to play the way you have, and things are going to work out.
Paulson out to take a draw with Hendrickson and Pekarchik on his wings. Seamus and Jubenville at the point. This line really was a physical presence, I thought, in the first period, and looking to get the Saints back level here early in the second. 36 seconds in, offensive zone face-off. Paulson takes against Lepa. As Slukinski watches to his left. Paulson wins to the point. Jubenville banks down the wall. It cycles in behind the net. Gruba there for Fargo. He'll leave it up the near wall, and it's swatted ahead past Seamus. He has to rush back. Jubenville across ice to beat Stenari to the puck. Stenari right on Jubenville. Played in behind the net to the right. For the Saints in their own end, Seamus ahead up the wall. It's blocked and kept in by Davatilla. He knocks it in behind the net. Jubenville takes it off the wall, banks behind, and Seamus will outlet ahead. Hendrickson couldn't hang on, though. It stays in the zone. Davatilla on the far boards. He'll sweep it down the wall. Seamus intercepts at the circle. The outlet for Paulson, and he backhands to center. Newmeyer will flub right back in. A minute 15 into the second. Saints down 2-1 in Game 4. They're down a game in this series, looking to force a decisive Game 5 in Fargo on Tuesday. Saints in the neutral zone pickup. Paulson ahead, right wing for Hendrickson as Pekarchik cutting in. He has it on the glove, down to his stick. The shot, it's punched down with a blocker by Slukinski. Puck turned ahead out to center, and it is a too many men on the ice penalty. They're calling it against the Saints. .133 into the second. And it looks like the Saints are being called for too many men on the ice. Saints do not like this call, but they're headed to an early second period Crawford North penalty kill for a bench minor for too many men. 1:33 into the second. It's 2-1 Fargo, and another big kill coming for the Saints.
Kirk McDonald is adamant that was not too many men in the ice, so I don't know where what they saw or.
Well, the Saints have to start the kill in their own end of the right on the far circle, 1:33, and they can't win the draw with Reeder. It's at the point for Quinn walking the line, and the Saints needing a kill to keep this deficit at 1. It's banked down low, loose side of the net. Parks comes away with it. Leaves up top. Frank serving the minor. Gruba on the left wing at the top of the circles. In the Saints end on the far side. It goes to the point. Quinn across ice for Swanson, 20 into the power play. 2-1 Fargo. The blast by Gruba. The save by Radler. It's flubbed down in front, loose, swept wide. Near wall, Swanson to the point. 2 minutes into the second. Saints down a goal. 30 seconds into a kill. On the right side, Swanson, one-timer, blocked wide by Vizinen, and it loose in behind the net. Skipped up the wall. Sandrial knocks it ahead, and Reeder picks up. He'll skate to center. Rushing ahead, all alone on the kill. He'll flip it to himself into the offensive zone. Cutting toward the front, Reeder, the shot! It's gloved by Slukinski. It was headed wide, but Reeder chipped the puck, rainbowed into the zone himself, and got a shot away. The Saints get an offensive zone draw on the kill. 2:21 into the second. 2-1 Fargo, 1:13 left on this power play for the Force.
Saw Teddy Merrill score a goal that way. He just kind of flipped it to himself around a defenseman in the Muskegon series, and it got in all alone for a breakaway. It's a great little tactic, and nearly worked there, too, for James Reeder.
Reeder heads to the bench. It's Paulson and Noah Powell up front. They can't win the draw, but Fargo in its own end will take over on a power play. Halfway through the bench minor for too many men. The Saints on their second kill of the night. One was late in the first, this one here early in the second. They're down 2-1. Puck swept in, Dubuque end to the right. It pops in front, chopped wide by Svoboda on the back door. He'll try to play up the wall back to the point, racing across his Lastarza. He can't keep it in. Out to center, 45 left on the power play for the Force. Just about 3 played in the second. 2-1 Fargo. Bozer stood up at the Saints line. He tries to dump in, blocked by Malbuff. Paulson picks up and clears all the way down. 3 minutes played in the second. 2-1 Fargo, 30 to go on the bench minor against the Saints. Too many men on the ice called early in this second period with the Saints down a goal. Across the Saints line, Reeder and Sandrial right back out there with Scott and Vizinen. Puck in behind the Dubuque net. Svoboda works it to the corner. Lastarza low to high. Taylor there on the right point. Near wing to the bottom of the circle. Fisher up to the top again. Lastarza holds on toward the point for Taylor. Left wing feed. Bozer side of the net. Tipped away by Scott. Up and out of play. 7 seconds remain on the penalty against the Saints. 3:27 into the second period. Saints trail by 1, and the kill has 7 ticks to go on it.
This kill has looked a lot better than the first one. First one, they were just kind of scrambling and just hoping to keep the puck out of the net, and they had to throw bodies all the way around. This is a lot more structured, and they're really keeping Fargo to the outside without any good looks.
Reeder in his own end to take the face-off with 7 seconds left on this kill. Early in the second, 2-1 Fargo. Force on the power play. It's tied up. Vizinen sweeps it behind the net. It comes to the near wall. The penalty is over. Swanson still holds on. Morrissey below the Saints goal line, works to the top, has Newmeyer there. Frank out of the box. Newmeyer at the point. The shot kicked away by Radler. Near wall. Scott picks up. He'll outlet. Reeder tips it ahead. Has Frank, who moves into the offensive zone. Cross-ice feed hit Reeder. He takes it into the corner. All the way around the boards, but Sandrial was cutting down low. It went by him. Saints get the kill, though. They're 2 for 2 tonight. 4 minutes in to the second period. They're down 2-1. and it's Parks on the far wall, Saints end. Tip toward the front, Morrissey couldn't get there. The Saints knock free, it's loose of the circles. Dubuque finds, Cornforth outlets, Sondrio, left wing, into the offensive zone for Noah Powell. He'll leave it in deep toward the side of the net. Sondrio couldn't get there, and it's picked up by Newmeyer. He'll bank it ahead. Saints will control at their own blue line. 4:20 into the second period, 2-1 Dubuque. Right to left, Charlie Aaron dumps in. Saints will chase, trying to get some offense going after the kill. Puck all the way to the top of the zone. Dick back down the wall on the cycle for Aaron to the top of the slot. Slides toward the front. It was tipped away by Morrissey, up and out of play. 15:26 left in the second period. 2-1 Fargo. And the Saints with another big penalty kill, which has been so good all season and really good in the playoffs. That is another crucial kill for the Saints.
No question about it. You definitely don't want to go down by 2 goals at this juncture of the game against a team like Fargo, who's done a pretty good job of closing games out. So again, when they're leading after 2 periods, they're almost unstoppable. So a big key for the Fighting Saints to get that kill and give themselves a chance to get back into this.
Regular season in post Fargo, 45-0-1-0 when leading after 2. The one loss was to the Saints, though. The Saints win the draw offensive end. It's Dick in the high slot, tries to chop toward the net. It was blocked. Back up top, 4:45 into the second. Saints pick back up. St. Louis shuffles to the near corner wall. It's swept ahead. Merrill keeps in, cranks down the boards, but Fargo pumps back to center. Merrill along the wall, left it forward. Taylor intercepts and moves it into the Saints end to the right. In behind, St. Louis tries to backhand up the wall. It was stopped along the boards. Frank ties it up and skates ahead. He falls down, though. Can't get out. It's Davatilla on the left wing. Saints end far side. Swept all the way around the boards. Up to the near point and out to center. Bozer has to take it back. 5:15 into the second. 2-1. Fargo leads in game 4. The Force leading the series 2-1. Saints trying to keep their season alive on home ice tonight. It is St. Louis in his own end picking up. He'll move up the right wing, far side to center, and Frank goes across ice, has Merrill into the zone, takes it down the left wing, dances between his legs, in behind the net, and he couldn't hang on to the puck. Quinn will pick up for the Force. His outlet on the tape for Fisher. 5:40 into the second, 2-1 Fargo. Chipped in behind the Saints net. Seamus back for it. It bounces toward the front. Saints get there first. Merrill knocks it to the wall, but it's still Fargo holding on behind the net. Fisher tries to feed back toward the front. It hit the back of the net. Seamus picks up. He'll muscle ahead. Right wing feed looking for Hendrickson just out of his reach, and it's taken by the Force. Turn to center. The Saints will pick up. Saints get a full change. Paulson out on the bench, and he has the puck into the offensive zone. 6 played in the second. Hard angle shot, paddled down by Slukinski, side of the net. Saints work free. Hendrickson then over skated, and it's taken to center by the Force. Saints seal that off just in front of their own bench, and they battle for it in front of the Dubuque bench. Near boards in the neutral zone. 13:35 to play in the second period. Game 4 of the Clark Cup Final. Saints trail 2-1. Trying to keep their season alive. They win the battle in center. Into the zone. Pekar cheat, curls and drags. He lost it. Newmeyer rushing ahead. 3-on-2 for Fargo. On the far wing. Into the Saints end. Lastarza drops back. Plant. The snapshot. Blocked by Reeder. It goes up out of play. Reeder just made himself big. Got his knee to it. And it goes up and out. The Saints with a huge block on an odd man rush. With 13:19 to play in the second. It stays 2-1 Force. We'll be right back in Dubuque.
Finnin', you're winning with Finnin'. When you drive away in a Finnin' car, you're winning with Finnin'. And you're always treated like a superstar. You're winning with Finnin'. We take pride in customer loyalty. We're leaders in the community. So come on down and you will see. Finnin', you're winning with Finnin'. Finnin'.
Fighting Saints looking to force game 5 on Tuesday night in Fargo. They trail 2-1 with 13:19 to go in the second period. Jim, that play by Jay Reeder before the break, hustling back to negate an odd man rush. You've talked about it the last couple nights, but those types of plays are what win you these games.
No question about it. And the Fighting Saints I think they have an advantage in speed. So, it's just an effort play. You get back and you break up a play like that, and you keep this a 2-goal or a 1-goal deficit. Those are big plays that don't get recognized in the scorebook.
Saints have loved their pace all season. They think it's one of their best characteristics. They're in their own end here. They can't win the draw. It's swept in behind. Lastarza cycles to the point for Taylor. 13:10 left in the second. 2-1 Fargo. Chopped along behind the net. Saints pick it up there, and Scott will start ahead. Right to left. Saints up the near wall, and Barron will chip it in deep to the Fargo end. Gruba back for it, leaves it to the corner. Barron first there. He forks it down low, but the Force pick up. And left to right, Svoboda to center. Across the Saints line, Plant across ice. The rip wide by Lastarza. It bounces back up top. Sondrel will move ahead, right to left, across the red line. Into the offensive zone. It's out of the reach of Reeder. And then the outlet for Fargo. Morrissey racing in. Scott trying to seal it off. The blast caught by Radler. Morrissey had to let it fly. Scott did a great job with his skating to get back and force the shot early. And Radler stuck the left hand out and snared it. 12:35 left in the second. 2-1 Fargo.
Again, great play by Fisher Scott. You know, he didn't get back or, you know, get a stick on that puck, but he really forced the shot way out of range. So Radler's going to see it all the way in. That's an easy save for him to make instead of having to deal with a forward that's coming in to going to dangle and try to make a move on you.
Radler able to see it and glove it. Saints in their own end for a draw. Aaron against Morrissey. Saints can't win it. It's Bozer on the left wing. Feeds toward the front. Tipped. Goes all the way through. Cornforth near wall. Banks it off the boards to center. 12:28 to go in the second. It's 2-1 Fargo. Left wing on the far side. Parks right back into the Saints end. Shrugged down by Radler on the long range shot. And Aaron will pick up on the right wing. Out towards center. He lost it outside his own blue line. It's flipped back in by Swanson. Seamus racing back for it. Behind his own net up the near side for Cornforth. He'll outlet. Tipped, but Aaron picks up in center. He moves into the offensive zone. Right side. Feeds toward the front. Tipped wide by Malbuff. In the corner, Noah charges along. Plays it back toward the front. Pumped back to the corner by Lepa. He chips up the wall and has Parks to center. Under 12 to play in the second. It's 2-1 Fargo. Tipped into the Saints end. Radler sticks it to the corner. Saints can't hold on there. Swanson tied up by Cornforth though, and Cornforth able to move it to the neutral zone, and then it's lost there by the Saints. Lepa launches into the Saints end. It bounces along the wall. Malbuff ahead and out to center. Fargo will pick back up in the neutral zone. Newmeyer at his own blue line, ahead off the far wall. Banked ahead across the Saints line, Stenari. Swept away by Seamus in behind his own net. He'll crank it up the wall. It's kept in by Gruba. The Saints tie him up and are able to force to center. Loose in the neutral zone. Cornforth picks up. Left wing. Rushing into the offensive zone. Falls down. Saints bench wants a call. They don't get it. It's Stenari on the far boards. Into the Saints end. Ripping up. And then he overskated the puck. Tried to dangle. And he missed it. The Saints will pick up. They bank forward. King into the zone. Left wing. Cuts to the front. The snapshot save. Rebound. It's loose in front. And it's stopped by Slukinski. He sprawled out on top of it. Kings with another great chance tonight. And Slukinski stops it again. 10:57 left in the second. It's 2-1 Force. Slukinski with some more big stops in this game and some pushing and shoving. After that, this fourth line, Jim, has generated a couple really good chances tonight.
Absolutely. Andrew King has been right in the center of that. He's had some great offensive rushes here and come close to putting the puck in the back of the net as well.
Saints
They're going to get any penalties out of this. Doesn't look like it.
Doors are currently open. Is King the only one? There's no way this could not be both. The referees are discussing. They are going to take one of the Fargo players, I believe. Maybe not. There's a conversation at the bench with the linesman Riley Hickey and a couple Fargo players. Davatilla being taken across to the penalty box. Both teams unhappy that they're being called for this. They think they should have a power play. Saints haven't had one yet tonight. Fargo's had two, haven't scored, but the Force lead this game 2-1 with 10:57 to play in the second period. Faceoff will stay in the Fargo zone. It's a slash on King, and it's roughing on Davatilla. It'll be 4-on-4. The Saints scored a 4-on-4 goal last night. It was Jake Sondrel in the third period to add some insurance. Right now, the Saints are down a goal. 10:57 left in the second, and Sondrel, who has the Saints goal tonight, is out to take the draw on the offensive end. He'll go against Morrissey, far circle to the left. Saints trying to fight back in this game, down 2-1. It's won by Morrissey in the Fargo end, and the Force will hold on with Bozer behind the net. outletting up the far wall for Morrissey, and it's out to center. Swanson across ice. Taylor at the Saints blue line, stopped along the wall by Reeder. It bounces in behind the net. Jubenville sweeps up the wall, and St. Louis will start ahead for the Saints. Cross ice, Jubenville ahead on the left wing. Sondriel races up the left wing into the zone, bottom of the circle. Cross ice looking for Jubenville, backside. He has it in the corner, and he was swarmed there, couldn't hang on. Taylor, who dropped his stick, picks up and leaves it in behind the net. 1:23 on the 4-on-4, 10:18 to go in the second. It's 2-1 Fargo. Swanson behind his own net to the left, ahead for the Force. Taylor on the near wall, stopped by the Saints forecheck. He flips it all the way down, and icing will be called against the Force with 10:04 to play in the second period. 1:08 to go on this 4-on-4, and a 2-1 Fargo lead.
As you mentioned, last night, Sondriel scored that goal 4-on-4. That was a huge momentum shifter for the Fighting Saints. They felt like they could close it out after that, taking a 3-1 lead with about 10 minutes to go in the third.
Saints another offensive zone draw on this 4-on-4. This time it's Paulson and Hendrickson with Scott and Visenen. Near circle to the left, Paulson against Morrissey. 10:04 left in the second, 1:08 on the 4-on-4. Saints trail game 4 by a goal. They trail the series by a game on home ice tonight, trying to force a game 5. It's tied up in the dot in the Fargo end, and Morrissey able to knock free. Swanson picks up at his own blue line, starts to the neutral zone, and then peels back at the red line. Halfway through the 4-on-4 and halfway through regulation time here in game 4. Puck turned back into the Fargo end. Paulson jetting behind the net, trying to force some havoc on the forecheck, but it is Fargo to peel out of that, and Morrissey to center. 45 on the 4-on-4, 9:40 in the second. 2-1 Fargo. Morrissey up the right wing. Dances in behind the Saints net. Holds on. Off to the far circle to the right. Leaves it up the wall. Gruba in from the point. Skates down low. His rip. Wide. Off the end wall. Back up top. Plant bobbles. And they're going to call too many men on the ice. This time on Fargo. Plant, who was just in off the bench, played the puck. And the Saints, after being called for too many men a few minutes back, will get a power play of their own for a Fargo bench minor. 9:24 to go in the second. It's 2-1 Force. 28 to go on the 4-on-4, so it's going to be a 4-on-3 power play on the Chick-fil-A power play for Dubuque for 28 seconds, and then 5-on-4 for the rest. Lastarza will go serve, and this is a chance for the Saints, Jim, to get back in this.
And no question about it. If you're Fargo, you can't really complain that call. I mean, that's it was pretty clear. Plant was there, played the puck. You can't complain it, especially, you know, when you've already had 2 power plays. Dubuque's had none, and I know Coach McDonald has had the ear of the officials to get that next one, and certainly the Fighting Saints got that one.
Well, the power play when we come back.
Finnin, 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 finnin. You're winning with Finnin. When you drive away in a Finnin car, you're winning with Finnin. And you're always treated like a superstar. You're winning with Finnin. We take pride in customer loyalty. We're leaders in the community. So come on down and you will see. Finnin, Finnin, Finnin. You're winning with Finnin. Finnin.
Tonight's broadcast on Eagle 102.3 is presented by Michelin and Piazza, the Fighting Saints, to their first power play of Game 4. 9:24 left in the second. It's 2-1 Fargo. It's a 4-on-3 power play for 28 seconds, and then it's a 5-on-4 for the rest. The Saints looking to tie this game up on the power play. They scored their first power play goal of the series last night. Sondriel, St. Louis, Reeder, and Visenen in the 4-man unit against Morrissey, Bozer, and Newmeyer. Near circle to the left. Sondriel to start the power play against Morrissey. The Saints win the draw. Near circle, Reeder holds on in the corner wall. Left wing, up top for Sondriel. He'll swing to the point, Visenen. 20 on the 4-on-3. Visenen across Sondriel. Right wing, one-timer, St. Louis. It's kicked away by Slukinski and cleared down the ice from the Force. 9:05 left in the second. 2-1 Fargo. Saints on a 4-on-3 for 5 seconds before it becomes 5-on-4. Sondriel roaring up the left wing, near side, holds on toward the point. Väisänen back to the left wing. Sondriel, it's 5-on-4. Saints tip down low. Reeder works free to the far wall. St. Louis to the point. It's Väisänen there. The Saints on the power play for 121 more. Pekarczyk holds on left side. He bobbled and swings down low. It's intercepted by Newmeyer. He'll skate ahead to center across the Saints line. Then he'll knock it in behind the net, and Väisänen will pick up. 1:05 on the power play. 8.5 left in the second. Saints trail 2-1 in game 4. The outlet picked off by Davatila. One-on-one with Väisänen into the Saints end. The snap wide of the net. Off the end wall, Reeder will move it back behind the net. Väisänen there with Davatila right on him. He'll leave it behind for Reeder, who starts ahead. Saints with 48 left on this power play. Their first of the night, right to left. Reeder to the blue line, stopped, and it's cleared back to the Saints end. 8:05 to go in the second. 40 to go on the power play. Saints change units. Right to left, Väisänen across the blue line. Right wing feed for Hendrickson. Hard around the boards, up to the left point. Has Paulson on the near wing. This unit scored last night with Cornforth. 30 seconds left on the power play. Cornforth holds on left circle. To the point for Powell, and Seamus goes to the right side. At the circle, Paulson holds on there. Filters across ice. It's Cornforth off the wall, taking over on the near boards. 15 on the power play. Cornforth toward the front, tipped on, saved, rebound, loose across to the circle, back up top. Seamus in from the point. Right wing feed for Paulson. Side of the net, Hendrickson. Slukinski without a stick. 5 on the power play. Hendrickson cutting down low. Slukinski has the stick back. Hendrickson to the front of the net. He stuffs it on, and Slukinski holds on there with 1 second left on the power play. 7:24 remaining in the second. It's 2-1 Fargo. And the Saints with some pressure, but with just 1 second left, not going to be able to convert on this Chick-fil-A power play.
Well, they still got. I mean, they're not going to convert on the power play officially, but they still got some time. If you win the face-off, you can set something up real quick before Lestarza gets out of the penalty box. So technically, it wouldn't be a power play goal, but you still have 5 or 6 seconds to make something happen here. Got to win the face-off first.
Aaron will take it against Leppa. Frank waiting just behind him at the top of the circle, far side to the left. It's won by Morrissey, or rather Leppa, excuse me, and the outlet all the way to center. It's gloved at the neutral zone by Jubenville, and that slowed it down enough to keep Lestarza from breaking in. Loose in center, it is Leppa into the Saints end as the Force kill off the first penalty against them tonight. The Saints pick up in their own end. Right to left, it's Frank into the offensive zone. Plays down the near wall. Crowd trying to get the Saints going. Frank on the left circle. It bounces toward the point. Kept in by Jubenville. He'll loft it toward the net. Loose in front off of Gruba. The Saints couldn't find it. Gruba up the wall, and it chips along. Glove down by Jubenville, and a hand pass called against the Saints with 6:48 to go in the second. 2-1 Fargo. And Jim, this period really, there have been some penalties and power plays, but there hasn't really been a ton of great chances either way in the second period so far.
Really hasn't been a lot of flow to this period either. You came out and both teams would look like they were going to play fire wagon hockey the entire night, but it's really slowed down here, and you see two teams being very cautious defensively. They don't want to give up that next goal, and that's why you're seeing kind of things getting mucked up a little bit.
It's a neutral zone draw with 6:48 to go in the second. 2-1 Fargo in game 4. The Saints trying to even this series. It's 1 in the neutral zone. The Saints skate ahead. Barron on the right wing. Skates down the right circle. Leaves it in the corner. Giuliani cycles along the boards to the near boards. It is Bentz there. Stopped by Fisher-Scott. The Saints try to keep in. They do. At the top, Giuliani. Across the blue line. The pass hopped on him. Malbuff has to take it out to center. 6.5 to go in the second. On the near wing, Merrill wraps it back in deep. Slukinski out of the net. He'll play up the boards, and Giuliani blocked it. It's loose along the wall on the far side. Giuliani tied up by Häkkinen, and Fargo comes away with the puck. Scott lays a hit on Bentz. The puck to center. Malbuff there for the Saints. Outlets into the zone. Saints on the right wing. Giuliani jets ahead. The snapshot. It was blocked. He didn't get all of it. Back up top. One-timer. Merrill rings it off the crossbar. Scott down the left boards. The Saints still hold on. It is Scott into the corner for Barron. He'll try to cycle up top under 6 to play in the second. Scott shifts along the blue line. Takes it to the right wing. Shields down the boards on the bottom of the circle. Leaves in the corner there for Giuliani. Hard in front. It bounces around off a skate and trickles just wide. Barron tries to loft it back to the front. It's intercepted. Saints keep back in on the right side. Scott down low behind the net. He's ripped down. Loose in front. The shot by Giuliani. Saved by Slukinski. back up top. Caleb Dick walks the line, across to the right point, back to the left. The blast by Giuliani, blocked in front by Quinn. Fisher ahead, stopped by Scott, and he gloves down. The Saints have it tied up along the wall, near side. Fargo end to the left, 5:20 to go in the second. 2-1, Fargo, the Saints pressuring in the offensive zone. They try to dig it free. It comes up top. Hendrickson keeps in. His pass, though, is blocked by the Force, and it stays in. The Saints keep it alive. It's Pekarczyk, right circle, down low into the corner for Paulson. He bats it along behind the net, ripped in front from below the goal line by Hendrickson. It goes all the way back to center. Under 5 to play. The Saints with a ton of pressure there, but can't get one past Lukinski. Back into the zone. Hendrickson 2-on-1, right to left, right circle. Hendrickson turns toward the front. It's loose. They jab away, and they bat it toward the net. It's stopped. The whistle blows. St. Louis picked up a loose puck right at the top of the paint, and somehow it stayed out. The whistle comes, and with 4:46 left in the second, the Saints with a ton of pressure, but can't find a way to tie this thing up.
I think the Fighting Saints are going to ask for a video review. It was it was at least a minute ago. Michael Barron, he was on the ice. He pointed to the bench and he said, "Hey, go for a video review." He thinks a shot hit the back bar instead of the crossbar.
The Merrill shot?
It might have been the Merrill shot, but he was very adamant about that puck being in the net. And then when he came to the bench, he was very vocal to Coach Kirk McDonald about asking for a review.
Josh Moser telling us it did not go in.
It did not go in.
He's checked the replay.
Okay.
I think the Saints are arguing for something, though.
Well, they might have been asking for six men on the ice again. Coach McDonald was holding up 6 fingers.
It's going to be an offensive zone draw. McDonald getting a discussion with Chaz Kanucky, one of the referees tonight. 4:46 left in the second period right now. It's 2-1 Fargo. McDonald animated on the bench. A long discussion here, but I don't think you're really going to win a battle trying to get a too many men call after the fact.
They're pointing up to the press box.
They want to see a replay. I think they want to see if there were too many men on the ice, but I mean, they are going to win. The Saints are at least going to get this looked at. The referees are going over to the box to check this.
It was at least a minute before the. It was at least a minute before that shot hit the bar. And again, Coach McDonald is adamant about he's raising up 6 fingers. That did look like it hit the crossbar.
I mean, Kirk McDonald, you're right. He kept putting 6 fingers up. So I don't know if he's asking them to review a goal going in. I think he wants a penalty called. I'm not 100% sure if that can be reviewed, but if this becomes a penalty, you can be sure that Brett Skinner won't be happy. Both referees are in the penalty box now, looking at something.
I don't know if it couldn't have been the goal, because we've had the review here. We've seen it 3 or 4 times, and it was pretty clear that it went off the crossbar. I didn't. Can you review having 6 men on the ice? I don't know if you can review that penalty, can you?
Not quite sure, but if you couldn't, then they wouldn't be in the penalty box right now reviewing something, unless we're just way off on what Kirk McDonald is asking to be reviewed. Right now, 4:46 on the second period clock. It's 2-1 Fargo. All 3 goals back in the first period. The Saints with a ton of pressure in the last couple shifts, Jim. It was it was domination on the ice. The Saints had Fargo hemmed in. The referees are coming out of the penalty box now, and they wave off. They make a signal for no goal. I
assume that's what they were looking for.
But
again, the harsh part about this is they've been waiting for the officials to make a call, and kind of slowed their momentum. As you mentioned, they had Fargo hemmed in, and we'll see if that slows their momentum down a little bit.
Fargo wins the draw on its own end. They dump all the way along into the Saints zone. St. Louis dump behind the net. It's Paulson trying to chip it up the boards. Kept alive by Lepa in the Saints end. They battle for it. 4.5 to go in the second. It's 2-1 Fargo. Puck pops to the circle. Knocked free by the Saints to the side of the net. Radler hammers it back up the wall. Pekarchik onto it. 2-on-2 right to left with Hendrickson. They weave into the zone. Pekarchik tries the shot. He fanned on it. Lost it behind him. Davatilla will start back ahead. He'll chip it along into the Saints end. Back forward is Caleb Dick. He'll bobble toward the corner, trying to scoop up the wall, and it's tied up. Plant trying to work free. Pekarchik there for the Saints. He'll move it ahead, and he's stripped from behind. Plant keeps in. His cross-ice feed stopped by St. Louis. He'll spin it to center. 3:50 to go in the second period. It's 2-1 Fargo. Saints in their own end pick up. Right to left, Pekarchik across ice, and it is Sondriel ahead. Into the zone for Pekarchik. Left wing, stops on the hash marks. Banks up top to the point. Scott quickly across the point for Väisänen. Holds on top of the zone on the right side. At the point, he lofts the shot toward the net. It hit a body in front, bounces to the wall. Fargo picks up. Quinn off the glass, high in the air to center. Jumping is Väisänen. He gloved it down but couldn't hang on. Into the zone, Plant drops back. Lestars at the blast. Blocked by Scott. Goes into the corner. Saints try to chip free. Reeder in the corner. He was hit and couldn't hang on. Lestarza to the top. Along the wall. Swept in behind the net. Väisänen seals off Svoboda there. Puck to the near wall. Barron ahead. Intercepted by Plant. His pass all the way up top, though, goes out to center. All the way down the ice in the Fargo end. 3 minutes to go in the second. 2-1 Fargo leads. Forced turnover in their own end. Aaron picks up, works up top, and then shifts down low on his backhand. Behind the net for Cornforth. Up to the near half wall, Powell. Noah to the point. Scott, the shot, way wide, off the end wall. Up the board, Swanson there for Fargo. He'll chip to center. Bounces to the Saints line and into the zone. Settled by Scott behind the net. It's still bouncing on him. He wraps it to center. Noah picks up in the neutral zone. Holds on, twirls forward. 2.5 to go in the second. 2-1 Force. Noah spins to the near wall. Cornforth back in deep. Powell in behind the net. Noah working low to high. Top of the circle. Swings in front. Backdoor. Cornforth couldn't reach the pass. Goes all the way through. Jubenville in from the point. Forks in behind the net. And Bozer there will shovel ahead. Seamus intercepts. He pinches in from the point. Takes it down the wall. Feeds toward the side of the net. Aaron chops in front. It was intercepted by Newmeyer. He'll leave it to the side. And Swanson flips to center. 2:05 left in the second. Saints trail 2-1. In game 4. They're down 2-1 in the series. The Saints move ahead, tip it in deep. Chasing after it, Bozer, far corner. Noah laying the hit on him. Puck up the wall, kept in by Jubenville briefly, but Swanson intercepts. His outlet on the tape for Davatilla into the Saints end. Dances toward the front, it's loose. Radler pokes it away with a stick, and then it's gloved ahead. Saints take over, 1:40 to go in the second. Crowd trying to get the Saints going right to left, and they can't get in to the zone. It's held up in center and then dumped in. Fargo will take over with 90 seconds to go in the second. 2-1 Force. Left to right. Stenari at center. Checked by Giuliani. He'll work the puck backward. Dick will slap to center. It's blocked and Lepa will shovel back along. Seamus gloves down in his own end. 1:20 to go in the second. Saints down a goal. It is Giuliani hacking along to the line, but the Saints are called at the line. That puck may have hit the Saints bench with 1:13 left in the second. 2-1 Fargo. Saints with some pressure here late in the second, but haven't been able to tie this thing up.
Well, I like their response here. Now they have a 16-14 advantage in shots with 1:13 to go. There was a time there when Fargo had a very distinct advantage over a stretch of time. So Fighting Saints fighting back into this. They're not packing it in by any means, and they're continue to force the issue.
Saints push the draw forward, but Hendrickson picked it up. They called him offside. 2 seconds go off the clock. 1:11 to go in the second. 2-1 Fargo. Another face-off outside the Fargo zone to the left. Near dot. Saints bench watching on right next to this draw. Pekarchik, Paulson, Hendrickson, St. Louis, and Caleb Dick. Saints looking for a tying goal in this contest, trying to keep their season alive tonight in game 4 at home. Svoboda was tying up Pekarchik. He gets a conversation from the official, and they're ready to drop the puck in the neutral zone. Paulson and Plant taking the draw. Saints with 16 shots, 14 for Fargo. The Saints have had a ton of pressure the last few minutes. They can't win this draw. It's played all the way down. Icing called against Fargo. They say Gruba didn't get to the red line. He doesn't like the call, but it will be a face-off in the Fargo zone. 1:05 to go in the second. 2-1 Force.
Yeah, it was close. I thought he got the red line, but apparently he didn't. And Saints aren't going to argue that one. They're going to get a face-off in the Fargo zone.
Paulson will stay out to take it. Same 5 for the Saints. Paulson against Plant. Near circle to the left. Slukinski watches on. He's 15 of 16 in this game. It's tied up in the circle. Played ahead. Svoboda stopped it and then knocked it ahead to center. Last minute of the second period. St. Louis all the way back in his own zone in the corner. Stops the puck. Plays it ahead. Out to the neutral zone. Pekarchik picks up the outlet on the tape for Hendrickson. Dancing into the zone on his backhand. Turns up the circle. Feeds toward the slot. He was stacked. It trickles toward the net. And it's covered by Slukinski. 43.3 left in the second. 2-1 Fargo. Hendrickson was on his backhand, wanted to just try and drop it to Paulson, who was trailing. It bounced around, and Slukinski covered it late in the second. Last minute, 2-1 Fargo lead.
Yeah, difference has been those bounces have been going Fargo's way, and for much of this night, and a couple fortunate bounces ended up in the back of Dubuque's net, and Dubuque needs one of those bounces. The hockey gods need to answer their prayers here so Dubuque can get back into this thing.
Reeder taking the face-off in the offensive end of the left. 43.3 to go in the second. It's 2-1 Force. Reeder takes the draw. Sondriel waits behind him. Barron out as well. St. Louis and Dick stay on the ice for the Saints in the final minute of the second. Down 1 in game 4. It's tied up in the circle. Saints forced to the point, and St. Louis holding on down the left wing. He looks to the circle, has Reeder, turns, fires. It was blocked, and Quinn will outlet. Swanson ahead for Davatilla in the neutral zone on the right wing. He flips along. Saints block it, and Dick will leave it to the wall. 25 seconds left in the period. Sondriel banks it ahead to Reeder. Right wing into the zone. Knifes in. Barron tries to swat in deep. It was blocked to center, and Morrissey will sweep ahead. Saints stop it at their line, and it's loose in the neutral zone. Barron picks up. 12 seconds left. Barron roaring into the zone. Left circle. Cuts all the way around behind. Feeds toward the front. It's loose, and it's covered up by Swanson. The Saints couldn't get there. It was tipped, and Slukinski was able to get a glove on top of it. 7.1 seconds left in the second. 2-1 Fargo. And the Saints, another offensive zone draw in the final 10 seconds of this period.
They're doing a good job of getting pucks to the net. They just can't get him across that goal line. But again, they've had put some good pressure on Slukinski here, latter stages of the second period. And, again, they continue to do that. Eventually, you're going to get a bounce and you're going to get one to go in.
Paulson out again for the face-off against Morrissey. Pekarchik and Hendrickson with him. Visinen and Scott on the point. 7.1 to go in the second. Saints trying to tie the game at 2. It's tied up. Paulson to the point. Scott in on the left side. Tries the shot. It was blocked. Goes down the boards to the corner, and it will stay there as the second period ends. The score's the same as when the period started. It's 2-1 Force. And the Force, through the regular season and playoffs, 45-0-1-0 when leading into the third period. The Saints, the only team to come back and beat the Force. It was on November 3rd in Fargo. The Saints are going to have to do that again to keep their season alive on home ice tonight. Jim, after 2 periods, the Saints had a really good push in the second after they fell behind late in the first. How do they get one past Lukinski in the third?
Again, just keep getting pucks to the net. I think they've done a nice job of getting pucks to the net. Get some traffic in front. Bang one in. Maybe it doesn't have to be a pretty one. Can be an ugly one. And just keep getting that traffic in front, getting pucks to the net, and take away Slukinski's eyes. And anytime he's going to see the puck, he's going to stop it more often than not. So just going to have to get pucks to the net, and traffic in front.
That's the formula. Saints will try to do it in the third. We'll talk to Gavin Cornforth in the intermission, and we'll get you set for the third period. The Saints down 2-1, and they're trying to extend their season on home ice tonight. We'll have the third period coming up from Dubuque.
Joined by Gavin Cornforth as the Saints play Game 4 of the Clark Cup Final at home tonight. Gavin, you guys, with your power play unit, got the late goal in the first period last night. How big was that?
Yeah, I think it was definitely big. Kind of switched the momentum going into the second period, so I think it was a great play by Noah getting into the net, and yeah, I just buried it.
For you guys to be able to play with the lead in the last, at least last night, you guys scored first the last 2 games.
Yeah.
What does that do for you guys?
Yeah, I think it was definitely nice. I think the fans definitely got behind us after that, and the fans were great all night. So I think we if we score the first one today, the fans will be there for us, and I think we'll be pretty good.
Tonight, what do you guys have to do to force a Game 5?
I think we just need to stick to the game plan and just stick to the game plan, and I think we'll be just fine.
Thanks, Gavin. Saints in Game 4 tonight at home.
The Dubuque Fighting Saints trail 2-1 after 40 minutes in Game 4 with their season on the line at home tonight. The Fargo Force, after 2 periods when leading during the regular season, 37-0-1-0. In the playoffs, they're 8-0. The only loss, an overtime loss to the Saints on November 3rd in Fargo. The Saints scored in the third with Uri Pekarchik, and then Lucas St. Louis in overtime won it for the Saints. They're going to have to find a way to come back to keep their season going here tonight. No goals in the second period for either team. All 3 goals back in the first. Sondriel started it off from Reeder, then Bozer and Fisher answered for Fargo. The Saints got their first power play in the second period. They couldn't convert. Fargo had a second power play chance as well. The Force are 0 for 2. Shots 17-14 in favor of the Saints. In the second period, though, they had the push. The last half of the second was all Saints, 11-5 in favor of the Saints on shots in the second. But they couldn't beat Hampton Slukinski. They're going to have to find a way to do it in the third. They said all series long it's getting traffic in front of him, making it hard, and getting a ton of pucks to the net in front of Slukinski. We'll see if they can do it. The Saints down a goal. Season on the line at home tonight for the Dubuque Fighting Saints. We'll have the third period coming up here on the Saints Broadcast Network.
Hey y'all, my name is Tiara, and a little thing that I love about the Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is that it has the perfect amount of spice to jumpstart my day. Whoever thought of it, thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Robert, and a little thing I love about Chick-fil-A Spicy Chicken Biscuit is the biscuit. It reminds me of my grandma's homemade biscuit. It's always buttery and savory. Then you add the spices, instant classic.
Order the Spicy Chicken Biscuit on the Chick-fil-A app today. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonials.
Hey, I'm the Crawford guy.
Ooh, do you guys always speak at the same time?
Sorry, I'll go first. You know, if you need help with your heating or air conditioning or plumbing, Crawford Company can solve your problem.
But what about your problem?
What problem?
Do you not hear yourselves? Take it from me, the Crawford lady.
And me, the Crawford guy.
Crawford is the comfort company.
Visit CrawfordNorth.com.
Progressive Processing, a Hormel Foods company, is hiring great people across all shifts with new starting wages of $20.60 per hour to $25 per hour, with the potential to earn up to $27 per hour. The team at Progressive Processing takes pride in producing popular and trusted Hormel Foods products that are sold in grocery stores across the country. They provide industry-leading benefits, a culture of engagement, and a variety of schedule options. See their openings and find your perfect job today at ProgressiveProcessingJobs.com.
At Great Clips, we want you to feel good about getting a great haircut. That's why we created the Great Care Promise, our commitment to keeping everyone as safe as possible in the salon. From contactless online check-in and social distancing to rigorous sanitization and mask requirements at all Great Clips locations, we're doing more to keep our salons clean and comfortable. Check in online and get a ready next text when you're next. Great Clips, it's gonna be great. All salons are independently owned and operated. Contact your local salon for specific safety measures.
Since Yamaha introduced their first golf car in 1979, Harris Golf Cars has offered friendly sales and service at their family-owned and operated locations in Iowa, Illinois, Wisconsin, and Nebraska. Come see the wide selection of gas and electric golf cars, as well as Yamaha's complete line of products available for your golf, campground, lake home, neighborhood, and farm needs. Harris takes trade-ins of all brands, and their expert technicians are here to repair and maintain your golf cars. Harris Golf Cars, your destination for all golf car needs. In Dubuque by Hobby Lobby or online.
Let's party at a Dubuque Fighting Saints game. Book your next group outing with a Quick Start Party Corner at a Saints game. Bring up to 20 people to enjoy an exciting night of fun and hockey with an unbeatable view of all the action on the ice in your own reserved seating area. Quick Start Party Corners start at $500 with food and beverage options available. Party Corners are perfect for corporate nights, birthdays, bachelorette parties, or a friend's night out. Get together, pack the house, and cheer on your Dubuque Fighting Saints. For more information, visit DubuqueFightingSaints.com.
WinStar Lines is a family-owned and operated local Dubuque charter bus company that has been serving customers nationwide since 1995. With 8 Midwestern hubs and a varied fleet, including minibuses, motor coaches, sleeper buses, and vans, we are able to accommodate any group, large or small, to any destination near or far. With over 20 years in the travel and tourism industry, our reputation for superior safety, impeccable equipment, and unparalleled customer service makes us the right choice for your group's transportation needs. Now hiring full and part-time drivers. Go WinStar.
Hey, I'm Jackie, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit is the chicken. It is golden brown, so juicy, so delicious. It's the perfect savory start to my day.
Start your day with the Chick-fil-A chicken biscuit, available on the Chick-fil-A app. Real Chick-fil-A guests paid for their testimonial.
Don't want to miss any Fighting Saints action this season? Order a flex plan today. Starting at just 5 games. Choose the games and seat location to witness the Saints fight for a 6th Clark Cup. Plans start at $9 per ticket. Visit DubuqueFightingSaints.com.
Finnin', 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 finnin'. You're winning with Finnin'. When you drive away in a Finnin' car, you're winning with Finnin'. And you're always treated like a superstar. You're winning with Finnin'. We take pride in customer loyalty. We're leaders in the community. So come on down and you will see. Finnin', Finnin', Finnin'. You're winning with Finnin'. Finnin'.
The Dubuque Fighting Saints have 20 minutes to try and keep their season alive tonight on home ice. It's 2-1 Fargo over Dubuque after 40 minutes in Game 4 of the 2024 Clark Cup Final. The Saints trying to become just the second team to come back from behind and beat the Force in a game after trailing into the third. The Saints are the only team to do it. They did it once. They're trying to do it for a second time here tonight to keep their season alive. It's 2-1 Fargo. The Saints and the Force hit the ice for the third here. Jim, we've talked so much about getting traffic in front of Slukinski and making it hard for him. The Saints have put pressure on in the second half of the second period. They had the push. They got to figure out a way to get one in.
And no question about it. And, you look at, they have to trust in the way they've been playing all series long. They've had spurts, they've had moments where they were the better team, and just trust the process, trust the way they're playing, and eventually they're going to get one to go in. But as you mentioned, that stat of Fargo 45-0-1-0 when leading after 2, that's almost impossible. That's next level good, and it really speaks to the quality of this team in Fargo that they've been able to have a record like that.
The puck is down on period number 3. It banks into the Fargo end of the right. The Force in all black sweaters try to pick up behind their net. It's turned in front, though. The Saints worked it free. Near wall in the corner. Saints in white here. 15 seconds into the third. Down 2-1. The fans trying to get them back into it. It's Barron behind the net, holding on. Flips to the front. Sondriel tried to swing at it. He couldn't connect. And it chipped to center off the glass. Scott settles in the neutral zone, quickly across ice. Barron bobbles, can't get it in deep. Morrissey right to left, into the Saints end. Left wing, the shot, and Visenen got his stick in and knocked it up out of play. 35 seconds into the third period, 2-1 Fargo. The Saints down a goal early in the third and needing to win this game to keep the season alive.
I've been impressed with Michael Barron's play. Especially tonight here, stepping into that line with Jake Sondriel and James Reeder. He's been really dynamic on that left wing and using his speed to create opportunities for his line mates.
Teddy Merrill hops out. Barron, he's really quick. The Saints love what Michael Barron brings. He's put onto the Reeder-Sondriel line. He's been good the last 2 nights. Saints can't get out of their own zone. 45 seconds into the third. It's filtered in behind the Saints net to the left. Seamus checked, lost it into the corner. Teddy Merrill there, tips it ahead, has King, who chips off the glass. Settled by Giuliani, he knocks it in deep. He'll race after it into the corner with Newmeyer. Giuliani ties it up behind the Fargo net. trying to kick it free. Has it in the far corner. Looking to the top. Has Seamus, left point, the rib. Kicked down by Slukinski. Loose in the slot. Picked up by Giuliani to the near wall. He'll bank it to the point. Jubenville off the wall. Bobbled, and it was tipped to center by Lastarza. Saints back for it. 1:15 into the third. It's 2-1 Fargo. Left to right. Saints to center. Into the zone. King. Cross ice. It's Merrill on the top of the circle. His shot blocked. Bounces to the slot. Swatted on by Giuliani. Loose in front. Saved by Slukinski. It just kept on bouncing. Giuliani had a chance to whack at it. Slukinski made the stop and covered it up. 1:26 into the third. It's 2-1 Fargo, but the Saints have been putting the pressure on since the midway point in the second, and they've continued it here early in the third.
Another example, just get pucks to the net, bounce around, and and hopefully that Slukinski loses sight of it and it goes in the back of the net. But again, get pucks to the net, good things happen.
Paulson out for the offensive zone face-off. 90 seconds into the third. Saints trail by a goal. It's tied up. Fargo behind its own net with Taylor up the far wall. Dick in from the point. Keeps it in for the Saints. Into the corner. Taylor picks it off. Blocked by the Saints. It wraps around to the near wall. And then St. Louis lays a hit. Paulson keeps it in. A penalty coming against Fargo. St. Louis was knocked with the high stick along the wall when he tried to play that puck back. Maybe an elbow. And St. Louis getting up from the ice, checking his face. It's Stenari who's headed to the box. They call interference against Stenari. 1:44 into the third. A Chick-fil-A power play for the Fighting Saints. Down a goal with the season on the line, and they get their second crack at the man advantage tonight. Jake Sondriel, the captain of this team, he has the goal tonight. He'll step out to start this power play for the Saints. He is talking with the official. I think he saw what you saw. He pointed to his elbow. He thought maybe that could be an elbowing and possibly more than 2 minutes. But it goes as interference, and it's a Saints power play, their second tonight. Down 2-1. 1:44 into the third. The Saints starting a power play, trying to tie this game 4 up. It's Sondriel and Morrissey. Fargo into the right on the far circle. Sondriel wins the draw. Pekarchik to the point. He has it back from Väisänen. Left wing, a center point Väisänen. Right side, St. Louis blast. It was blocked by a Fargo skate off the corner wall and bounces up out of play. They will call it elbowing. Okay. The referee was facing the wrong way, Jim. My eyes, I was screened.
I thought he made an initial gesture that it was elbowing, but it doesn't matter. It's a penalty.
I was screened.
Power play. Wait, got to get traffic in front.
Yep.
Again, it doesn't matter what it is. It's a power play opportunity for the Fighting Saints, and you really want to get some momentum back here early in the period and pop one and get this back to 2-2.
Reeder taking the draw near circle to the right. 1:53 into the third period. Saints down a goal, and with their back against the wall in this Clark Cup final, down 2-1 in the best of 5. It's 1:50 to go on the Saints' second power play chance of the night. Reeder is down on the ice, tied it up in the circle. It pops to the point, and Väisänen has it. He works down the left wing, bottom of the circle. Up to the top, it's Pekarchik, left wing. At the top of the circle is passed down low tip. Reeder tries to settle it, bouncing behind the net. Saints look to work free. It's loose into the corner. Saints converge. St. Louis low to high. Väisänen on the right point. 1:25 on the power play. To the top of the right circle, St. Louis shifts toward the near boards. Holds on there. Works back to the left side for Pekarchik. Off the top of the circle, he flips it back to the point. It goes by Väisänen out to center. 2.5 minutes gone by in the third period. The Saints trail game 4, 2-1. They're on the power play. They switch units with 1:05 left. Paulson roaring into the zone, left to right, near wing. It's tipped away from him. He's able to move it down the boards, but then he's stripped, and it's out to center. 2-on-1 shorthanded for Fargo. Right to left, Leppa near side. The shot kicked away by Radler. It springs the Saints ahead. 3-on-2 on the power play. Hendrickson ahead into the zone. Leaves to the right side for Paulson. Back through. One-timer. Noah heeled it to the corner. It's picked up by Cornforth to the point. The blast by Seamus. It's smothered by Slukinski. Hendrickson was standing right there with the screen, and Slukinski saw around him and holds on. No rebound. 3:03 into the third. 41 to go on the power play. The Saints trailing by 1.
I love that big kick save by Kevin Radler at the other end. It was basically like a pass with his leg pad. He just controlled the rebound and threw it out to his own blue line to start the rush the other way.
Saints in the offensive zone on the power play. It's Noah Powell taking the draw. It's turned bottom of the circle. Fargo flips in behind the net. Cornforth chases in the far corner. It's up the wall, and Fargo clears. 30 seconds left on the Saints power play. 3:15 into the third period. They trail by 1. They are facing elimination at home tonight, trying to keep the season alive. On the left wing, Hendrickson into the offensive zone on the power play. Cornforth toward the point. Seamus settles, keeps in. Noah, high slot, works to the left circle, turns back, looks up high, holds on the top of the circle. Cross ice, Paulson kicks it to the corner wall. Holds on there, shields the puck, banks to the point. 5 on the power play. Seamus walking the line, across to the left wing. Has Cornforth, bottom of the circle, looking in front. It was blocked by Newmeyer. Saints get the puck back, and Noah will tip it along. Fargo gets their man out of the box. Just about 4 minutes played in the third. It's 2-1 Fargo. The Saints can't convert on the power play early in the third. Cornforth kicks it along in the offensive end. Works it free to the point. Jubenville walks the line. D-to-D. Kalen Dick, right wing. His shot. It was blocked. Knuckles in front. Backhanded on. And it was blocked. That was from Aaron. Fargo got a body on front of it. And LaStarza will start forward. Chipping to center. Saints back for it. 4:15 into the third. Knuckled ahead by the Saints. Aaron into the zone as King stayed onside. Left wing for Frank. He'll knock it in on the backhand into the corner. Aaron wraps it around the boards to the right point. 4.5 into the third. Saints down 1. And it's trying to play it down low as Dick. It went off a skate, pops in the air. Plant picks up in center, bounces it in on Radler. He handcuffed a little bit, but he has it in front of him, and Dick will twirl around the back of the net and start the Saints back forward. They lose it. Then Dick able to rip it back free. 4:45 into the third, loose puck in center. Swatted to the Saints line. Scott will pick up inside his own end. Across the ice for Kalen Bick, the outlet for Giuliani, and he forks in deep. Cross corner, near side, offensive end to the right for the Saints. It's loose in behind the net, and Scott in from the point. Plays to the slot, Merrill snaps, it was blocked, and it goes to the wall. Chip to center, Barron trying to settle there, and he hacks it right back in. 5:12 into the third period. The Saints are down a goal in this game 4. Davatilla right to left, near wing into the Saints end. Backhand toward the net, punched away by Radler. Davatilla on the rebound, takes it in back, and then feeds along below the goal line. Fisher on the cycle, leaves it in the corner. Hakkarainen across the ice to the far boards, buys it and seals that off. Plays in behind the net for Scott. Hops on him a little bit, still holds on. 5:40 into the third. The Saints down a goal in game 4, looking to keep their season and extend it to a game 5 in this Clark Cup Final. Played to center by Fargo. St. Louis settles there, just about 6 played in the third. Saints tip through center. Bouncing into the Fargo end, puck rolls on edge in behind. Bozer up the near wall. Hakkarainen races to it. It's Sondriel in the zone. Knocks it to the left wing boards. Banks down low. Bozer back around to the right side. Goes out to center. Malbuff jets back for it into his own zone. Saints will pick up in their own end to the left. 13:45 left in regulation. Lepa picks up a loose puck in center, flips it back in. It bounces on Radler. He keeps it in behind the net for St. Louis, who holds on. Saints down a goal in the third period at home in game 4. They trail this best of 5, 2-1. Reeder off to the right wing for Noah Powell into the zone. Newmeyer stripped him, takes it in behind his own net. The Saints forecheck, knocks it free. Reeder had his stick break, and then Slukinski gloved a bouncing puck in front of him with 13:22 to play in the third. Fargo a 1-goal lead and a face-off coming in the Force end. We'll take a break. We'll have that face-off when we come back. It's 2-1 Fargo in the third.
Finnin, 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 finnin. You're winning with Finnin. When you drive away in a Finnin car, you're winning with Finnin. And you're always treated like a superstar. You're winning with Finnin. We take pride in customer loyalty. We're leaders in the community. So come on down and you will see. Finnin, Finnin, Finnin. You're winning with Finnin. Finnin.
The Dubuque Fighting Saints, 13:22 left in this third period to try and tie this thing up and keep their season alive. It's 2-1 Fargo. In game 4 of the Clark Cup Final, Josh Starr with Jim Leitner. Jim, the Saints have put pressure on in the last probably 20 minutes of game time here. They just haven't found a way to beat Slukinski yet.
Yep, and hey, credit to Fargo Force. They're going to the net, and they're trying to protect the house, and they're trying to sweep away those loose pucks away from Slukinski and get them into the corners safely away from the goaltender. So good on the Force for playing defensively and sticking to their structure and not yielding to the Fighting Saints pressure.
Paulson in the offensive zone to take a face-off against Morrissey. Fargo into the right. Far circle. The Saints with Paulson, Hendrickson, and Pekarchik out. They have 20 shots on goal tonight. Slukinski stopped 19. Fargo has 18 shots. Raylor stopped 16 of them. Fargo forces the puck ahead. Saints will pick back up in center. 13 and a quarter left in regulation. Left to right. Saints to the neutral zone. Hendrickson into the offensive end. Across ice. St. Louis cutting in from the neutral zone. Feeds toward the front. It was blocked by Gruba, and it's turned to center. Swanson switches ahead, and Hendrickson picks off. He'll rattle right back in. 13 minutes left in the third period. The Saints down 2-1. Fargo ahead to center. It's Paulson trying to knock it free. It's loose in the neutral zone, swatted forward by Hendrickson, and Fargo will pick up inside its own blue line. Morrissey on the right wing, hammers in deep to the Saints end. Pass Raylor, Reeder will tip it, and it goes to center. Pekarchik chasing after it into the offensive zone, cuts toward the slot. It was knocked away from him, and Fargo moves ahead. Scott back into his own end, into the corner with 12:28 left in the third period. It's 2-1 Fargo. Scott up the wall. Noah tries to play it back towards Sondrel. It was blocked. The Saints pick up, and then Lastarza strips it. He'll filter in behind the Dubuque net. It's loose. Plant tries to chip it on. Raylor seals the post. Sondrel picks up. Out to center. Left to right. Reeder looking cross ice. Off the wall has Powell. It bounces into the zone past Noah and in on goal as Slukinski covers up. Powell was putting the pressure on. Forced him to cover. 12:06 to play in the third period. 2-1 Fargo. Saints will get an offensive zone face-off.
We're seeing a little after the whistle, little stick taps. And I guess when you get to game 4 of a series like this with so much at stake, you're going to see both sides try to get under the other team's skin, maybe draw an undisciplined penalty, and it's just part of the game at this point, but you love to see that competitive fire out of both teams.
Seeing Noah Powell back with Reeder and Sondrel here. The Saints looking to tie this game and keep the season alive. They win the draw in the offensive zone. Sondrel from the corner to the point. It's Väisänen settling a looping puck. He has Noah on the cycle all the way back up top. Under 12 to play. Saints down 1. Väisänen near half wall. Across ice. Top of the zone. Reeder the snap. It trickles just wide off of Slukinski. It's swatted ahead. Saints kick it along. Reeder keeps in into the corner. Looking in front. One-timer Noah. It's saved by Slukinski. Back to the left wing board. Saints pick up. Down the wall in the cycle. Reeder up high for Scott. A Fargo player lost his stick. Goes back to the wall to pick it up. Saints down low, the shot, just wide. Sondrel had a wide open net and couldn't redirect it. In the near corner, the Saints still chase after the puck. Lepa pins it to the boards. Reeder carrying down low. Lepa able to force it ahead. Glove down by Väisänen, and then Lepa will pick up. 11 and a quarter left. What a chance for Sondrel. The Saints couldn't hit the net. It's still 2-1 Fargo. Cross corner into the Dubuque end to the left. Reeder and Swanson cancel each other out. They battle for it, Saints zone. Along the near wall. It pops in behind the net, and the Saints will have it. They'll skate to center with Scott. Tipped ahead by Cornforth. Lost in the neutral zone. Swanson one-on-one with Väisänen. The shot tipped wide. Frank on the back check got a piece. He has it back. Chips ahead, and Plant keeps in, but the Saints able to force it ahead. Frank on the right wing. Can't get past Newmeyer. 10:40 to play in the third period. Puck bounces into the side of Raylor in behind the Saints net. Seamus scoops up the wall. Frank tries to tie it up. The Saints able to find Aaron up the glass. It bounces along. Plant keeps in. A couple Saints battle along the wall. The puck pops in the air toward the blue line. Not out. Stays in. Lastarza top of the zone. The snap. It's smothered by Raylor. He holds on. 10:16 to play in the third period. Lastarza came away with that puck from the top of the zone and ripped it on. Raylor with the chest makes the save, and the Saints deficit stays at 1. It's 2-1 Force with 10:16 to play. Face off in the Saints end to the left.
Yeah, the Force are content just to dump pucks, get them deep, make the Fighting Saints go back and chase. They're not really focusing on offense or creating chances. They're just mostly focusing on the defensive side of the puck and keep the Fighting Saints away from it.
Saints in their own end, can't win the draw. To the point, it's Taylor. He'll hack it into the corner boards. It pops in the air behind. Jubenville gloves down, takes it up the left wing, has King to center. He's checked, but scoops ahead, and Giuliani will shovel it in deep. Saints will chase. It's Lukinski behind the net, leaving it for Bozer with 10 minutes to play in the third period of Game 4. The Saints down a goal. It's Bentz chipping ahead off the glass to center. Settled by Seamus Powell. The Saints tip ahead. It's stopped at the blue line. Jubenville ahead on the wing, and he gets it in deep, but Bozer there for Fargo. Taylor ahead toward the neutral zone. Lepa swats in deep to the Saints end. Jubenville races back along behind the goal line. Seamus up the wall and across ice. Stenari keeps it in. Paddled down by Radler at the side of the net. Seamus picks up. He roars to center. Left to right. Right wing feed Giuliani into the zone. Tries to feed toward the front. It was blocked. Bounces to the neutral zone. St. Louis goes back into his own end with 9:18 to play. The Saints rush back. Seamus there behind his own net. He'll swing it up the near wall. St. Louis settles, and he'll backhand to center. It hops past Paulson. Gruba banks to the neutral zone. Davatilla there with 9:05 to play. Hammers in deep to the Saints end. Radler stops it. Seamus behind his net. Plays up the near wall for Hendrickson. Saints sweep forward, and it stays in the zone, but it was a delayed offside, so the Saints will settle. 8:50 to play. St. Louis peels back inside his own blue line, left to right. It's all the way down the ice, past Pekarchik. Icing called against the Saints with 8:47 left. 2-1 Fargo. Pekarchik turned around, couldn't find the pass. It goes down for icing.
Yeah, the Fighting Saints have put pressure on this Fargo Force team. They just haven't been rewarded for it. And you got to think that at some point that they're going to eventually be rewarded and get that tying goal.
Face-off in the Dubuque zone to the left. On the near circle, Morrissey against Eric Paulson. Saints win it. St. Louis ahead quickly for Pekarchik, and he flubs the center. Fargo will take over there. Swanson swarmed by the Saints. They pick it off. Ahead is Paulson, left to right, into the zone. Left wing, Paulson all the way to the bottom of the circle. Leaves it back up the wall for Pekarchik, and he has a couple Force players right around him, still able to sweep it in behind the net. 8.5 to play. The Saints down one in the third period. Paulson in the corner. Takes a couple checks. The puck loose up the wall. Morrissey finds, and his outlet tipped to center by Park. Saints swing back ahead, and at the blue line, Hendrickson moves in. Dances up the wing, and then it's picked off and chipped to center. 8 minutes, 10 seconds to go. The Saints trail by one with their backs against the wall in the Clark Cup Final. It's batted around in the neutral zone. Morrissey to the wall, and Quinn will flip it all the way down the ice. Svoboda into the Saints end with St. Louis in the far corner to the left. They battle for it. It's tied up on the wall with under 8 to play in the third period. It's a 2-1 Fargo lead. The puck tied up in the corner wall. Sondriel digging away with Jubenville and St. Louis, and a couple of Fargo players as well. Plant comes away with it, backhands through the slot all the way to the near wall. Newmeyer in from the point, hammers it below the goal line. Svoboda takes hit from Jubenville. The Saints try to find it, still pinned to the wall behind the net. 7.5 to play. Fargo toward the point. It's Quinn across the point for Newmeyer. He'll bank it back down the boards to the side of the net. Loose in back. Plant coming away with it behind the Saints net. Looking toward the top. He has Gruba in from the bench on the left point. Holding on there. Slides back to the side of the net. Jubenville steps up to Plant. Puck loose behind the net. Svoboda up the wall. 7:08 to play in the third. Saints down one. Puck down low. St. Louis picks up. Plays up the near wall. Jubenville racing across with Plant. And it's tied up. Plant stops it. The Saints able to knock it in back. It goes all the way to the far wall. Davatilla will be there first. Under 7 to play. Turn toward the front. Blocked by Sondriel. He couldn't hold on though. Lastarza on the side. The shot saved by Radler. Lands next to him. He covers up. 6:46 to play in the third period. Game 4 of the Clark Cup Final. The Saints are down a goal. Looking to force Game 5. We'll have the finish coming up next.
Finnin, 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 finnin. You're winning with Finnin. When you drive away in a Finnin car, you're winning with Finnin. And you're always treated like a superstar. You're winning with Finnin. We take pride in customer loyalty. We're leaders in the community. So come on down and you will see. Finnin, Finnin, Finnin. You're winning with Finnin. Finnin.
Tonight's broadcast on Eagle 102.3 is presented by Michelin in Piazza. The Fighting Saints with 6:46 left to try and keep their season in gear. They're down 2-1 late in the third. They've put pressure on, and they got to keep on battling here in the third period.
No question about it, and you can't fault their effort. They've, for a team that's had its back against the wall these last two nights, they've certainly come out with a great effort, and last night they were rewarded for it. Tonight they just have been on the short end of the stick here for most of this game since late in the first period. But again, I think Fargo's done a real nice job of protecting that lead and really preventing the Fighting Saints from getting that equalizer.
Jake Fisher's goal is the difference right now. He snuck it past Kevin Radler from a hard angle with 3:57 left in the first period. 6:46 left in the third. The Saints in their own end of the left win a draw. They chip it all the way to center ice. It's gloved by Fargo and a hand pass called against the Force with 6:39 to play in the third. 2-1 Force lead. Face-off in the neutral zone outside Fargo's blue line. Fardot, Aaron, and Lepa will take the face-off. The Saints trail by 1 with 6:39 left in regulation. They're looking to tie this game 4 up. It's won by Fargo, swatted in deep by Davatilla, all the way in behind the Saints net. Kalen Dick up the near wall. It's Powell who will bank to center all the way down the ice. Quinn racing back, Cornforth as well, and icing called against the Saints. They said Cornforth couldn't get there. Quinn did have the step, just barely. 6:26 to go in the third. 2-1 Fargo. Face-off coming in the Saints' end.
Cornforth, one of the fastest Fighting Saints, and again, that's an effort play. He's just trying to beat the play. I mean, he had a pretty big disadvantage trying to get back there and get that play, but he made it awfully close.
Noah will take the face-off in his own end of the left near circle against Morrissey. Saints with 6:26 left to try and find a tying goal. It's won by Fargo, but it bounces into the Saints bench. They're going to say the face-off stays in the Saints zone, but the Saints will be able to change if they want to, I believe, but they won't. 6:24 to play in the third. 2-1 Fargo, game 4 of the Clark Cup Final. The Force a win away from winning the championship. The Saints trying to make this thing go the distance and head back to Fargo. The Saints win the draw in the neutrals, or in their own end rather, and they start ahead to the neutral zone. Scott banks it in deep. Noah Powell wins the race. It goes in behind the Fargo net. Newmeyer up the near wall. Swanson ahead, stopped in center. Sondriel worked it free. He'll move it to the red line, try to force forward, but it was tied up in front of the Fargo bench with under 6 minutes to play in the third. 2-1 Force. It's played back toward the Saints zone and bounces into the corner. Jubenville back behind his own net to the left, 5:45 to play. Outlets left to right, tipped in by Sondriel. Barron steamrolls after it in behind the net. He has it in the far corner. Tries to cycle to Sondriel, who lurks toward the point, and then the pass from Reeder blocked and skipped to center by Svoboda. Saints back ahead, left wing, far side. Barron couldn't handle the pass, and it's played ahead. Out to center. Jubenville lays a hit on Svoboda. They're going to call a penalty. They call interference on Jubenville with 5:23 left in the third period. It's 2-1 Fargo, and the Saints are headed to the Crawford North penalty kill. The puck was flipped to center ice. Jubenville laid a hit, and they call him for interference. And with 5:23 left and a 1-goal deficit, the Saints are headed to the penalty kill.
Well, I guess you got to look at the bright side on this. The Fighting Saints have gained momentum from their penalty kill in the past. So you just got to hope that in this situation they can kill this off, do it effectively, do it efficiently, and build off that momentum and get that equalizer after the power play expires.
2 for 2 tonight. 7 for 8 in this series. The Saints win the draw in behind the net. Visinen will chip it off the glass, and it bounces to center. Settled by Taylor. He has Reeder right on him, and he was able to spin it away from Reeder. 5:10 left in the third. Saints down a goal on the penalty kill for 1:45. It's dumped in Saints end to the left. Scott along behind the net. It bounces in front. Reeder finds there and clears all the way down. 5 minutes to play in the third period in game 4. 90 seconds left on a kill for the Saints, who trail by 1, looking to extend their season to a game 5. It's Swanson on the far wall. Fargo on the power play, looking to get insurance and try to clinch a Clark Cup. It's Swanson to the point. Taylor on the right side, top of the circle towards Swanson. Down low for Plant, 4:35 left in the third. Cross ice, Gruba settles out of the air. Holds on the near boards, 105 on the power play. Back through the seam, tipped up and out of play in the Saints end. And a face-off with 4:28 left in the third. 106 left on the penalty kill for the Saints. Jaden Jubenville is standing in the penalty box. It's a 2-1 deficit for the Saints, and they have a face-off in their own end to the left on the near circle on the kill.
That first power play unit didn't really look like it was too aggressive in trying to get pucks to the net. It was more a situation of trying to work the puck around the perimeter and just chew time off the clock. We'll see if this second power play unit has a different approach or the same.
It's Reeder and Morrissey in the Saints end to the left. 4:28 to go in the third. Saints on the kill for 106 more. They trail by 1 in game 4. Fargo wins the draw. Bozer center point. Walks the line. Reeder was dumped. He gets up. Bozer takes it to the right circle. Far wing. Down to the corner. 4:15 to play in the third. It's Morrissey sliding to the corner wall. Lastarza up top for Bozer. D-to-D for Newmeyer on the left side. In the Saints end, 45 seconds left on the penalty to Jubenville. 4 minutes left in this third period. Fargo up 2-1. Bozer left point, walking the line. 35 on the power play for Fargo. To the left side, Newmeyer all the way up top. Bozer across ice. Newmeyer to the right point, and Bozer fakes the drive and feeds to the right circle. Fargo just trying to kill time here. 3:45 left. 20 seconds on the power play for the Force. Morrissey down low, swings in front off the pad of Radler. Loose in front, ripped on loose. They dig away, and it's swept wide. Saints pick it up. Malba hard off the glass. It's gloved down by Newmeyer. Stays in the zone. 3.5 to play. 10 on the power play for Fargo. Down the wall. Dick picks up. He'll flip it forward, and it does make its way to center. Jubenville out of the box with 3:20 left. Morrissey in the Saints end to the left. Far side, he has Malbuff right on his back. It's pinned to the wall behind the Saints net. They have 3:15 to try and tie this game and keep the season alive. It's tied up behind the Saints net. 2-1 Fargo late in the third in game 4. Caleb Dick trying to sweep the puck free. It's underneath Sondrial. They're still jabbing away at it with a Fargo player down behind as well. It was Stenari. Fargo wins the battle. Davatilla down low behind the net. It's Malbuff there, holding on, chips it up the glass. Hendrickson will take over. Left to right for the Saints. Into the offensive zone to the right, and they call icing against Dubuque. They thought Hendrickson tipped it, but it is an icing against the Saints with 2:43 left in the third period. 2-1 Fargo. Late in the third, Fargo a win away and 2:43 away from a championship. The Fighting Saints trying to prevent that on home ice tonight.
Both benches standing for the last 2-3 minutes of this period, and obviously Fighting Saints fighting for their lives, and the Force trying to get that championship, and it's going to come down to the last seconds.
Saints in their own end. They win the draw, then they lose it. Stenari, the shot, blocked, loose in the slot. They jab away. It bounces to the side, and the Saints pick up. 2.5 to play. Malbuff has it. The Saints will move forward left to right. They bank the center. Pekarchik kicks it, but can't hang on. And it's back to the Saints line. 2:20 left. The Saints left to right. They tip it in deep. They'll rush ahead and chase after it. Paulson in back. It's Quinn who will scoop to center on the backhand all the way down the ice. It will be icing as Reeder rushes back, and the Saints get the call with 2:08 left. 2:08 to go in the third period. It's 2-0 Fargo. Kevin Radler skates across to the bench. Imagine Kirk McDonald may call timeout here.
He's got the whiteboard, so I'm assuming that, well, maybe not.
He points the Saints back to the ice. Radler is on the bench. empty net for Dubuque. 2:08 to go in the third period. The Saints season is on the line. They have the goalie pulled. They trail 2-1 on home ice here in Game 4 of the Clark Cup Final. Near circle to the right, Fargo end. It's Reeder who will take the draw against Morrissey. St. Louis, Vizinen, Pekarchik, Sondriel, and Barron out with them. Morrissey and Reeder. It's tied up. The Saints chase after it in the corner. Barron up toward the top. It goes by St. Louis. And at the point, Vizinen will leave it back to center. It trickles back to the Saints end in front of the empty net. And Pekarchik takes over behind. 1:55 to play. Empty net for the Saints, trying to tie this game up and keep the season alive. Left to right, they tip along into the offensive zone. It's Reeder down the wing. Pekarchik rips it around the boards. Off to the near wall. It's St. Louis trying to move down low. Swanson picks up, and all the way from center, Fargo scores into the empty net. 1:36 to play in the third period, and the Fargo Force take a 2-goal lead in Game 4.
It's going to be Swoboda that gets the empty netter. He's going to be a Clark Cup champion for the second consecutive season. He was on that Youngstown Phantoms team that swept Fargo in the championship round last year. And Fighting Saints need 2 goals in 1:36. Tall order against this team that has done such a great job of closing out hockey games all year.
1:36 to play. Radler waiting at the top of the circles. The face-off at center with Fargo leading 3-1. And it's forced back to the Saints line. Seamus ahead quickly. Tipped ahead by Noah. It's batted around, gloved in the neutral zone. Hammered in by Paulson. 1:23 to play. Radler headed to the bench. It's loose up the wall. Tipped past Seamus. And it goes into the Fargo bench. A face-off in the neutral zone. With 1:18 to play. In the third period, the Saints down 3-1 after just allowing an empty netter with Brandon Svoboda scoring for Fargo. The Saints trying to pull off an insane comeback here late. 1:18 to play. Force lead 3-1. Neutral zone face-off. Bozer swats ahead. It's out to center. Empty net for the Saints. Seamus shields it up the wall, and Noah picks up. 1:10 left. Dubuque left to right quickly. They hammer in deep all the way around the boards. Paulson on the far wall. He'll chip it in behind. Cornforth holds on there. Looking at the circle to the point. Scott Glass tipped on goal. Save. Rebound. They couldn't get to it. It's played ahead with a minute left. Fargo to center. Davatilla dances by Scott into the Saints end. 2-0. Empty net. He feeds in front. Bozer missed it. It plays up the wall. 45 seconds left. Into the neutral zone. Saints ahead into offensive end. Gloved down by Hendrickson, then swatted to center. Just 38 seconds left. Empty net for the Saints. They're down by 2. Hendrickson, right wing. Paulson looking toward the front. He tries the shot. It was blocked. Up the near wall. Seamus scoops down the boards. Morrissey picks off. 25 left from center. Morrissey bounces it wide of the Saints net. He chases after it with 20 seconds left in the third. It's swatted to center. Davatilla back down the boards. Scott intercepts. 13 seconds left in the third period. Saints into the zone, and they're offside at the line with 8.4 seconds left. 3-1, Fargo Force lead, and the Force are 8.4 seconds away from a championship.
It's a team that's been the best team in the USHL all season long. 50 wins, set a USHL record in the regular season. They swept pretty much every individual award at the end of the season, and they're going to cap it off not only with the Anderson Cup, but with the Clark Cup Championship as well.
Neutral zone draw. The Saints win it with 8 seconds left. They rip ahead into the zone. It's loose to the circles. Flip to center, and it goes down the ice. The horn sounds. The Fighting Saints fall short in the Clark Cup Final, and the Fargo Force are 2024 Clark Cup champions. A historic season for the Dubuque Fighting Saints, and they fall short in 4 games in the final series of the season. Fargo celebrates in the zone to the right, and the Saints embrace as well in their own end with defeat tonight on home ice.
Well, you look at the Fighting Saints, they won 40 games. It's only the third time that's happened in franchise history. They won the Eastern Conference Championship. They really, in my opinion, they really restored a great winning tradition in Dubuque here. They didn't settle for winning season. They didn't settle for just making the playoffs. You know, their goal was to make it all the way and win the Clark Cup Championship, and they fell short. But, you know, you look at the 3 games they lost really were one-shot games into the third period. You know, this game especially, and, you know, all 3 games they lost were one-goal games basically, without, you know, empty nets a couple here and there. And but, you know, they've nothing to hang their heads about. An outstanding season, and, you know, like I said, they really put some restored that winning tradition here, and it's, you know, really bodes well for this team down the road. I think they're going to keep that winning tradition going here well into the future.
A 3-1 final score as the Fargo Force take their second Clark Cup championship in franchise history. The Saints all year long were unbelievable. They scored a ton. They were outstanding all year long, but they fall just short in 4 games to the Fargo Force as the Saints await the handshake line. Fargo starting to move towards center ice here to begin the line. And the Saints, they had the push in this game, Jim. They had the push that they were looking for. They just couldn't find a way to beat Slukinski, the goaltender of the year. And he made big saves all series long. He was really the big difference in the first 2 games between the split and the Saints dropping both of those games. And the handshake line begins here.
Exactly. You know, and he had a great defense in front of him. They did a great job of sweeping pucks out of the dirty areas and not giving the Fighting Saints those second effort chances. And, you know, just a good team. Again, a historically great hockey team, and that's really what it took to knock the Fighting Saints out and end their season. But again, this team's got a lot of great players coming back. You know, I know the Fighting Saints are really excited about the draft they had a couple weeks ago. Their affiliates list is really strong. So, you know, I think you're looking at it, this might just be the start of a nice big run for the Fighting Saints, you know, in the next few years.
There's a lot coming back. There's some leaving in the Fighting Saints. Jake Sondrial, one of the best Fighting Saints of all time. One of 9 players to 100 points, and really there was nobody else to pick to be the captain of this team this season. He was outstanding all year long. He picked it up the last couple games here and was trying to will the Saints ahead. They just couldn't find a way to get some more pucks past Lukinski, but Jake Sondrial, Jay Reeder, what a group this was that the Saints aren't going to have back next year, that are leaving a big legacy on this team.
It's exactly right. I think what you're going to see from this group is, you know, you're going to see the influence of Jake Sondrial 2-3 years down the road with some of the younger guys. The guys who are going to come back are going to emulate his leadership style and how he brought this group together, how they had great chemistry. There were no cliques on this team. Everybody got along. They were all good friends on and off the ice. You know, it was really a fun team to watch, a fun team to follow, and for me, a fun team to cover. You know, I'm really grateful. They were a great team, very gracious with their time all season long, and you know, it's great to be along for the ride with this historic team.
Handshake line done. The Saints gather at their own blue line here and salute the crowd. The crowd was outstanding this weekend. The Fighting Saints salute them one last time this season, falling just short in the Clark Cup Final. Saints still hanging around on the ice as they start to make their way off. And we will take a break here, and we'll come back with the Exit Realty post-game show to wrap things up. The Saints fall in 4 games. We'll take a break and come back with the Exit Realty post-game show.
First of all, on behalf of the USHL, we have a most important group to thank, and that's all of our fans, the Dubuque Fighting Saints, a class organization, to the ownership group, Brad Kwong, Peter Luco up top. Can't thank you enough for the hospitality these two teams have shown us. It takes a lot of people to make this season work, 540 games, village families, off-ice officials, our on-ice officials, our coaches, our GMs. It takes an awful lot to make it work. So give all of them a big round of applause. Our thanks to the front office staff as well. And without any further delay, if we can get Max Swanson, Leo Gruba, to step forward for the presentation of the cup. Congratulations, Fargo Force, Clark Cup champions. See you next season.
Welcome back into I'm On Arena for the Exit Realty post-game show as we wrap up this 2023-24 Dubuque Fighting Saints season. They fall in 4 games to the Fargo Force in the Clark Cup Final. The Exit Realty post-game show tonight presented by Bridget Stepanovich. Reach Bridget at Bridget, B-R-I-D-G-E-T, at exitdubuque.com. The Saints fall 2 wins short of the ultimate prize this season, but nonetheless, an outstanding season for the Fighting Saints. Tonight's I'm On Communications 3 stars of the game. Saints with Jake Sondriel as the 3rd star. The 2nd star, Jake Fisher, and Hampton Slukinski was outstanding again, the number 1 star tonight. Fisher's goal, the game winner for the Force. Those are the I'm On Communications 3 stars. Kevin Radler tonight, he made some big saves late. The Saints goaltender with 22 great clips, saves for service tonight. All the saves in the regular season meant donations by Great Clips to the Veterans Freedom Center on Kerper Boulevard. The Saints fall tonight, so no complete game, but when they did that in the regular season, they won, outshot the opponent, and won the special teams battle to complete the challenge. Progressive Processing and Hormel made donations to local food pantries in Dubuque. And the Saints got 1 tonight, but wasn't enough. They scored a ton in the regular season, and every goal presented by Dubuque Screw Products. Well, the Saints didn't reach their ultimate goal, but this was an amazing historical season for the Dubuque Fighting Saints. They're one of 3 Saints Tier 1 teams to win 40 games. They made the Clark Cup Finals for the season for the first time since 2016. This is the 4th time in their Tier 1 history to make it there. And they had the top seed in the Eastern Conference throughout the regular season, but they fall short tonight on home ice. And that will wrap up the Exit Realty post-game show here tonight from Dubuque. The Fighting Saints, their season comes to an end a little bit short, and there's a lot to look forward to next year with a lot of the players coming back, but some of the players leaving have left a lasting legacy here in Dubuque. Jake Sondriel, Jay Reeder among them, and they fall short, though, in this season. Thank you so much for tuning in all season long here on Eagle 102.3 and FloHockey. The Saints gave us a really fun ride this season, and we thought maybe it would go another couple days, but it was not to be. Nonetheless, the Saints gave us a ton of great moments this season. They gave us a lot of goals. Kevin Radler provided one of the best goaltending seasons in Fighting Saints history, and it was just a tight-knit group from start to finish. They'll go down in history, and they are the Eastern Conference champions in the 2023-24 USHL season. That will wrap it up here in Dubuque. We'll see you in the fall with some more Fighting Saints hockey. Until then, thank you, Saints Nation, Dubuque. We'll be back in the fall. My name's Josh Starr. Thanks so much for listening all season long. The Saints, Eastern Conference champions in the 2023-24 USHL season.